Hola Tankers! This February, things are heating up on and off the battlefield. From fiery battles to sweet rewards, here's what's happening in World of Tanks PC this February. I'm Commander AF, and this is Watt Monthly. This February, World of Tanks celebrates the Year of the Snake. Dive into Serpentine-themed missions and rewards during the Lunar New Year 2025 event. Earn event marks, visit the cat shop for exclusive treasures, and slither into action. Check the portal on February 5th for event details. As Onslaught Season of the Crimson Manticore continues, get ready for another fiercely competitive and always exciting season of the Onslaught Legends Series. Throughout February, watch the top teams in Europe compete in 7 vs 7 OLS matches as they battle their way to the top of the Season 2 leaderboard. Show your support by watching the heart-pounding action unfold live on Twitch, claiming drops and earning OLS tokens all along the way. Streams will be available in various languages on a variety of channels, with 100% of proceeds from OLS bundle sales going towards the prize pool. For my pals in North America, get ready for the Onslaught Legends Finals, which will be streamed live on February 22nd and 23rd. Two things I can guarantee: adrenaline-packed matches and mystery drops will be enabled. And don't miss the Onslaught collection in the Wargaming store. It's got everything from tumblers to t-shirts, so you can really show your love for the game. Frontline returns February 10th for 7 thrilling days of dynamic 30 vs 30 battles. During Episode 4, every time you load into a frontline battle, you'll be faced with one of 3 unique battle scenarios, thanks to the Dynamic Battle Scenario system. You've got until February 16th to show your might on the battlefield and level up your rewards. February is for love notes and sweet gifts, and our partners at HyperX have got more than just your X's and O's covered. HyperX and World of Tanks have joined forces to transform your mechanical keyboard into a Watt masterpiece with exclusive 3D printed keycaps. Load out your escape key with miniature 3D printed replicas of the Tiger 1, Barask, and Sherman. Looks just like this. So cute. And Wattify your spacebar and WASD keys with Watt's iconic orange and black brand colors. Designed for mechanical keyboards with MX-style switch stems and sold exclusively in the US, these customized keys combine style and functionality to showcase your passion for the game. Now for a sweet gift. Check out the Love is Key giveaway for a chance to win the full collection of exclusive World of Tanks HyperX keycaps. Click on this link here and enter by Valentine's Day. 5 lucky winners from the US will be randomly selected and notified directly by February 21st. Though the Love is Key giveaway is for US-based players only, to bring a little extra sweetness to everyone's day, I'm talking to you, EU, APAC, and NA servers, I'm giving away the Love is in the Air 2D style to my top 10 favorite love notes. To enter, write a short and sweet love note about your favorite tank and post it in the YouTube comments below. Just be sure to include your in-game name and server in your comment so I can send you your reward. And for another sweet offer from an extra sweet partner, Fragstore.com is helping spread the love this Valentine's Day too. February 7th to 15th, shop their site for some sweet World of Tanks swag and save 20% when you use this promo code at checkout. In other news, the Railgun and Element of Surprise modes will make their triumphant return during the upcoming installment of Arcade Cabinet. February 28th through March 2nd, enjoy a fun-filled weekend of sniping and surprises as you earn random rewards like credits, boosters, and Watt Premium account days. Tally-ho, Tankers! Gear up for the ultimate hunt with Boosteroid's monthly boost rewards. This February, stock the battlefield with the William Foxwood Commander, mark your territory with the On the Scent decal, and track down other in-game goodies including gold, a Tier 8 premium subscription vehicle, and experimental equipment. With Boosteroid's cloud-based gaming, you can stay on the prowl anytime, anywhere. Subscribe and link your Boosteroid and World of Tanks accounts by February 28th to claim your prize before it slips away. All right, as you can see, World of Tanks PC is the perfect cozy companion this winter, so cuddle up and roll out, Tankers. Happy Valentine's Day, and as always, thanks for watching.
It's time to ring in the Year of the Wood Snake properly. Prepare for new discoveries, because Lunar New Year boxes are your ticket to tons of handy resources and vibrant 2D styles. which, of course, look best on tanks from the boxes. In any of them, you could find one of 8 premium Tier 8 and 9 vehicles, including the Škoda T56, one of the most desirable premium tanks in the game. Yes, now you too can deal deadly 1-2s. The AAT-60 is futuristic and compact with good armor, and a great gun that's a joy to fire. Although it has a serious rival, the gun of the Alt-Proto AMX-30. Thanks to a stat boost, this vehicle has become even more desirable. The WZ-111 Model 6 is a jack of all trades. A good balance of armor and mobility makes it comfortable in any situation. The Meal, decorated with bows and teddy bears. This cute little tank mercilessly mows down enemies one after another. The Gonzalo will give you what you want. Need to farm? Grab some standard shells with good pen. Want an extravagant firework display? Load Hesh shells. The Object Kust is a covert ambush master. Your patience always pays off with it. Concealment, suspension, penetration, and devastating damage are the qualities of a pro sniper. And finally, the newcomer, the Tier 9 Kampfpanzer Erich Concept 1. It's an apex predator in the form of a medium tank. When the Erich sees its prey, it accelerates to 65 kilometers per hour, and that's without turbocharger. While most mediums are only arriving at the flanks, the Erich is already opening fire. Up close, the gun easily hits its mark on the move, while at long range, it aims in a couple of seconds. Standard shells give you 270 millimeters of penetration, so there's little need to load special ones. The Erich Concept is a professional sniper tool that's not for hammering nails. If you use it right, the Erich will gift you hundreds of victories and millions of credits. Just like any tank in this collection, Lunar boxes are the best way to ring in the Year of the Snake fully armed. The new Onslaught season brings the same much-loved competitive battles, with a few improvements. The 5 weekly missions no longer expire at the end of the week, but remain available until the season finishes. You can complete them later and play at your own pace, but try not to leave them all to the last minute. Instead of increased shell resistance, completing all missions will get you a token that you can exchange for any improved equipment. The team lists now have more info. You still won't be able to see unspotted enemy vehicles, but now you can see players' names, platoons, and ranks. All this info is available both during battle and before it, on the loading screen and during pre-battle prep. Redshire has been removed from the Onslaught maps. Tundra and Prokhorovka have been added. And the latter has changed notably for the mode. Countryside engagements are going to be heated. Outpost now has more cover, and some of the points of interest have moved. We've also rebalanced the role skills. You can see a full list of the changes in the article on the game portal. It's now far simpler to assemble platoons in Onslaught. Instead of rating points, the game now checks players' ranks. You can invite a player one rank higher or lower than you to join a platoon. For super platoons of 7 players, a difference of 2 ranks either way applies. Incidentally, it's now a little easier to reach the highest rank. Now, not just 10, but a whole 15% of players on the leaderboard are legends. After battles, don't forget to claim your rewards. The banner in the in-game store will remind you. It will take you directly to the Onslaught shop. Fight in this season to get closer to the annual reward.
the Stinger. You can only get it in Onslaught, so make sure your Tier 10s are ready. If you don't have many, use this season's rental vehicles, the T110 E5, Centurion Action X, and Bliskavica. Happy onslaughtering. We had a rip-roaring good Christmas and New Year, but winter is about to get twice as exciting. This update brings a new twin-barreled tank branch, crucial rebalances, fun-filled celebrations, and glorious rewards. But first, a reminder about Battle Journey. If you still haven't checked your achievements from 2024, now's the time. You'll get all the juicy details about your tanking career, which you can share with friends. It's a good idea to ponder the past if you want to prepare for a prosperous future. And now, onto what that future has in store for you. Don't miss the new branch of British twin-barreled heavies. They're enticing, pretty powerful, and quite different from their Soviet double-barreled cousins. The latter have auto-reloaders, firing 2 shells one after the other. When both are reloaded, you can fire a salvo with a delay and a penalty afterward. British twin-barreled tanks are a different breed of cat. They're like 2 cyclic tanks in one. One with low alpha damage but good accuracy and mobility. The other with devastating damage but reduced speed and much wider dispersion, albeit with perfect stabilization. This means that in salvo mode, the aiming circle barely widens while moving or turning the turret. The salvo fires instantly. No need to spend time aiming or holding the necessary key. It takes 2 seconds to switch between modes after pressing X. You can switch on the move, for instance, when approaching an enemy. It's best to spend most of the battle in single fire mode, since you can move faster and fire accurately and effectively from long range. But when an enemy comes close, X, 2 seconds, left click. Remember that to fire, tanks from the new branch need to load both barrels. So, after a salvo, you'll have to wait through double loading, even if you switch straight to single fire mode. Changing the shell type also means loading both barrels. All tanks in the new branch have this mechanic and general concept, but each has its own little quirks. Get to know them all and find new favorites, not just at Tier 10. But the main attraction is the can opener, which splits apart armor with salvos causing an average of 840 HP of damage. Its own thick armor lets it engage in duels and make the most of those salvos. Steel never fails. The gun depression is British. The mobility is typically heavy in single fire mode and super heavy in salvo mode. The can opener isn't just strong and reliable. It's a vehicle that can adapt to any situation the battlefield presents. It can hold
your winners, your Onslaught Legends Series champions will be Cashback.
Mafia are your Fragstore Winter Invitational champions. They take it
2024 and the old champion, it is the new champion. Hit and run, the trophy goes. They've done it.
Are united in
Hello gamers and welcome to the day 4 of the Onslaught Legends Series Season 2. I hope that you're having a fantastic day and I hope today is gonna be an explosive one. It is the second last day of the Phase 1, Ducky.
Yeah, unbelievable, Kihan. Nice introduction. I've heard that before somewhere. How about you make something original, huh? Yeah, Thursday stream, of course, on Sunday we'll have Super Sunday starting early, right, Gihand?
Yes.
That's going to be interesting as well. But today we're going to have some interesting matches as well. And of course, your drops continue as well. 4 tokens today to grab that you can then spend in-game in the OLS token stores, where you can find very many things such as consumables, reserves, styles, what else is there? Premium days and a premium tank at the end of the day. I think I got them all.
I think I do too, because I'm a hoarder when it comes to in-game content. So yeah, for me, I guess the most important things will be the consumables. Can never have too many of those. That being said though, we are close to greatness. 68,403 euros, the current price pool for the OLS. That means it's gonna happen soon, Ducky.
What's gonna happen soon, Keyhand?
We're gonna have a nice number.
What number?
69,000.
Why is that such a nice number?
You know, it's just the way, the shape that that the numbers are formed.
I don't know what you mean, Keyhand. Could you explain in more detail?
No, I just you know, I'll transition instead to talking about the OLF prize pool, which is a set 15,000 US dollars. You can see the split below. The OLF is currently also ongoing, and we'll even have some North American matches on the 22nd and 23rd. So some, you know, nice American action going on there. Today, though, it's all going to be European. We're going to start off with Mafia versus W. Then we're going to have a Ping versus Bobbers, Cashback versus Darkside, so Ukrainian derby. And to finish it off, it's going to be the Frenchies, LTP versus Hit and Run.
So, we have a lot of interesting matches here, but I think the highlight of the day is also the one we're starting with, Kihan. Mafia versus W. The closest match on paper, if you had to guess. W coming off of a victory, an unexpectedly decisive victory even, against Hit and Run.
Yeah, I mean, W arguably having to start off with the strongest matchup or opponent with Cashback. They didn't manage to overcome them there, but since then W have performed well. And for Mafia, we're gonna have to see how they will be performing today. First of all, you see both of the lineups for the teams on your screen. Obviously, both of those teams bring 9 players, but 2 of those are gonna be benched. And so in the end, we're gonna be ending up with a 69 to 31% predictions, vastly in favor of Mafia.
I think it's a bit too much in favor of Mafia. The community not really respecting what W has done against Hit and Run, which it's a bit sad, but maybe W can prove them wrong. Of course, that's another question, Kian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, predictions obviously always go off of the past performance, but I think also a little bit of the names of the team, right? If you have a big name like Cashback or Mafia, then obviously quite a few people are going to be voting simply because of the name. That being said, we have a few stats for you. This time it's going to be Brain Breaker from W, a KD of 2. Average damage almost 3.4k and pen rate 89%. Not too shabby.
He has been a pretty good addition to the team of W. I mean, you got to remember he was not there for them last season. He's come in this season and he has been performing, I think it's fair to say. So really good that he's meshing together with the rest of those players, proving to be a good replacement. Because of course, you know, big shoes to fill there for all those replacements. Gotcha Baby, formidable player, doing a lot of damage as well. So it is that that way. Map pick and bans though, Westfield Ensk being removed gives us Airfield to start with. An interesting one.
Yeah, Airfield, obviously one of the slowest maps in the pool. That makes it very technical, sometimes very, very slow as well. Then we're gonna go in towards Murovanka. That has been played quite a few times. There have been some fast cap strategies that worked out and some others that haven't. And if we get to it, it's gonna be Himmelsdorf, so quite an iconic map as a possible tiebreaker.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's not going to be the fastest of matches, Kian. It may not be a bad thing either. A more tactical approach between these two. Airfield, Murovanka. Airfield pretty slow. Murovanka can be very fast depending on how the teams play it. But again, cap fast are not really what is being played anymore because, well, I mean, when you play against something so often, you do get better and better against it. But Airfield, number one, let's see the predictions. Oh, Kihan going the other way. Going for a Mafia win. Mov, Phil, and myself going for a W win. This could be a big moment for you, Kihan.
Well, let's see. I did switch my prediction. Initially, I was going to go with W as well. However, then I saw Jackofer actually playing a lot of Artie on his stream. And even after completing SPG 15 for the 260 with honors, he just kept playing. He says now it's all about the 279 missions.
There's always another excuse, isn't there?
Made me sway. Yeah, exactly. That made me sway my vote in Mafia's favor.
There's always another excuse. Missions. He'll probably, put a mission that isn't designed for the tank either and be like, oh no, didn't do it. Gotta do it again. So, I mean, you cannot trust that guy anymore, no?
No, absolutely not. Let's see if all that arty gameplay has translated into him doing worse in tanks, because there certainly is the potential for that. So far, he has been performing quite well as I think we're gonna go into the first game of the day. It's gonna be W starting off with double Bat, a singular Grille, together with double Mino, an EBR, and an RHM.
Mafia in return, IS-7, Mouse, Centurion, AX. Minotauro, WE4, and an RHM of their own. Yeah, the EBR Keyhand Brainbreaker had a pretty good performance against Bobbers, I think, with that one. However, that was a different caliber of team.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Bobbers also played a little bit experimental when Brainbreaker brought the EBR there. I think he played against the 13105, which is, I think, not the most common thing to see. And now, I think we should be seeing W start off on the east. Exactly, that's what's happening, simply because the Grill does have better shots from there. And quite a good scout plane coming out on the W side. They do see quite a few of those heavy tanks, especially seeing that Mouse is going to be a big one. As YOLO does see Ios, who immediately takes a shot of damage, but Marcel in that Centurion, he has bled.
That Centurion AX going down to 1.4. Of course, he was spotted, and the Guerrilla is reloaded and in position to shoot that. The FV technically is as well. Maybe something to consider for the future. But W here kick it off with some damage against the AX and returning it on the EBR. Okay, well, I mean, the EBR is unlikely to get picked off anyways, Keyhand. The AX in return, a little bit more vital, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. The EBR, even if it's on a one-shot, which he so far isn't, he can weasel around the map and provide info, whereas, yeah, for the Centurion Action X, he needs to expose at some point in time to deal damage so he can group inspire. That's in the end what the Centi AX is there for, as the Minotauro from Itox does get spotted here, exchanging spots, actually, with Profuse near the Southern Strike. But we do see finally Conrad in that Mouse. He has arrived now, and I think that's also what's prompting Orzek and Yuzek to drive a little bit further and take that CD line strike. D-tracking shot coming out from Ios as well, and Jackofer in that Grille reloading. Is he gonna have a shot? Most likely not. Good retrack from Ios coming out, though. Does bleed for it, and Jackofer with the big connection.
That Mino dropped to 1,331, and so far, I mean, they're still in an HP deficit, of course, because, the EBR has a lot less HP to start with. But, I mean, Jackofer has been hitting some shots already, though. AX, Mino could be impactful in the long run, but there's no real openings just yet for W.
No, YOLO is now trying to take the northern spotting tower, actually the only spotting tower on the map, and Marcel once again does get spotted in that sector and drops down to 700. This is starting to get problematic, as Profuse might also get pushed up on. Itox is gonna get striked, although damage reduction coming in. Good shot even into Profuse.
So now Marcel taking another one down towards 400. That's the one we have to watch out for. The linchpin on this side. Itox there was trying to get Profuse out of this battle, but now with the Mino has to watch left, has to watch right. It's a bit annoying. Can they find damage on Marcel? Can Brainbreaker find an angle? They find some alert check though, and that's really important because it gives another plane to Klurv. That's the most important part for the light, having a plane available at all times. And now the HP deficit has closed completely and swung a little bit in favor of W, but not all that much.
Well, first of all, there is a cap play going on right now, 12 seconds remaining, and Frugo takes a lot of damage for trying to reset. Marcel has to book it out of the balcony, but the strike is there and should be resetting everything. So for the time, no pressure on towards a team of W that still hold a little bit less HP, but they certainly have managed to close the gap.
Now Splatty reaching Profuse, misses on the first, but who's there to cover Profuse? He has 4 more, so enough to clip out the I7, even with missing that first one. Nobody currently... Ooh, that's a very big shot. Can Profuse finish him off? Yes, he can. That miss, more important than you would have imagined. That HE4 from the top. Orchek coming in with the 1000 Alpha Kihan. That's why that tank is also picked, of course. Such a strong, high explosive.
Exactly. Itox now trying to start to go towards the cap because obviously now no strikes available, but does bleed 2k HP for that even as he does make it on towards the cap, but obviously Conrad still very healthy. 4000 HP Mouse here starts trading it out with Itox that obviously has a faster intra clip than the Mouse has reload and puts a second one into the Mouse.
He's down towards 500 though, so 2 strikes would put him out. And now Frugo moving towards that northern part. He needs to be very careful as well. Itox missing one more. Marcel down towards 75 HP, and Frugo looks to be committing inside of the RD strike. They might want to do that to take out Marcel, but look at Orchek flanking Itox. Itox does not see this coming. He does have ability, so he won't die in one shot, but now Conrad coming from the other angle picks up Itox. So 4 taking the strike. They have lost another member of the team. Good reaction there from Mafia.
Yeah, Mafia readjusting here, and seemingly for everything that W do, Mafia have an answer. And keep in mind, 2000 HP of this is completely on the Gorilla, which cannot really come close to fight. So 2000 HP less even for W, as Marcel finally does go down. Frugo with a swing in that Minotauro to remove the first player of Mafia from the battle.
They're still down 3,000 though, and again, and most importantly, Kihand, the Gorilla is a non-factor in these games, and he gets blasted as well. That looks like the plane coming out from YOLO on towards that position while they're still capturing the base, and now with double the HP, Mafia seem to have found their stride in battle number 1, and it all started with that play on towards Profuse, who's still alive in this moment in time. Maybe Splatty could have been under that little perch already a little bit earlier, Kihan, and him exposing towards it was a mistake, but that is a very, very minor thing at all. But that HE4, that's why you pick it.
Exactly. Brainbreaker in the meantime was able to kill Profuse, but now will get found by YOLO in that RHM, and obviously the RHM does have more HP than the EBR, and Barkis even with that E4 was able to take out the EBR, and slowly but surely Mafia seem to be whittling down the tanks of W that do not have any armor to work with here anymore. Save for Frugo, but that is only one gun that can only do so much.
I mean, they still have 3 guns outside of Frugo. Make that 2. As his friends are dying rather quickly. Jakefa hitting one more shot on the RHM, but this one's all over. Yeah, back to that play on the I7 on Profuse. They had Marcel so low, they probably could have picked up the I7 as well, but maybe one tank wasn't enough to do that. It wasn't decisive enough. Gave Mafia time to come back and support.
Exactly, and now, I mean, Mafia are just playing this one out very, very methodically, keeping the one shot safe, taking strikes away from the opponents as well. Good shot by Uzak from the top here to remove Frugo, but the strike would have done it either way. This way, though, Barkis is going to be surviving, and all of a sudden the man we've been talking a lot about is going to be the last one alive. He gets another kill on the board, but that's going to be all she wrote. Mafia are going to take the lead here, 1-0.
Arguably, W was in a bit better of a position initially, but they weren't able to, of course, convert that to an actual win, which it is what it is, right? It could have gone differently than this if they used maybe one more tank to make sure that the I-7 falls quickly. Well, they had the opportunity. Relying on Splatty to hit every single shot and not die in the process is a big ask.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you cannot be sure that that E4 from the top is not going to peak. And obviously the 90 or something HP pen of that E4 is absolutely enough, especially if you shoot from above, possibly even like on towards like turret roof or something.
I mean, the batch of this 90 pen is enough for the lower plate can, so it doesn't really matter where you're sitting. You know, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and Splatty actually connecting all the other shots that he did, so cannot really fault him too much. But yeah, that was a play by him, and it completely didn't work out. And on the other side, I mean, Profuse, he was the one taking the brunt of the assault, essentially. But that is also, at the same time, exactly what the IS-7 is designed to do. And then you have those E4s pretty high up here, so kind of carrying their team to victory when it comes to the damage numbers. Good stuff all around from Mafia. I think how they were executing their game and their plan seemed very, very thought out and methodical, so I guess you can start to see as well why it was them picking Airfield.
Sure, but W still had a really good start in the beginning. Airfield is always a bit longer. I wonder when we're gonna see. I mean, the Gorilla just shuts down a lot of aggressive plays, Gihant, if you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you constantly have to be in fear of that 1k alpha slap to the face, that can be, yeah, just very. It can limit your options in a way that you don't really want it to normally. But let's see, for round number 2, I will find it a little bit questionable if they will... Oh, W still are gonna go for that Gorilla, and this time it is going to be a lot more beef on the side of W here. Double 430U, 1 RHM, and then they have triple E100.
Yeah, but look at Mafia, they're quite heavy themselves. Double mouse, double bat, a 430U, and a double E4. Kind of a counter lineup in a way. I mean, if Mafia go aggressive with this key, you know, the Gorilla is always going to be a little bit worse from that side, no matter what, like from the west.
At the same time, I think Mafia will have trouble with those Batchats, because we saw some interactions in between Batchats and BZ heavies, where like the Batchats really tear apart the BZ heavies, but the E100s might be a little bit too beefy, because you actually need like 2 Batchat clips to kill one. And if you don't roll properly, or even if you bounce one shot, which is entirely possible on E100s, then you're gonna need to dip into your 3rd clip, and at that point the E100 will also have retaliated at you. So let's see, Kono first of all is going to try and spot out this northern approach here, but the 430U actually does come with a lot of base camo, and Itox and Ios might even have low noise on their 430Us, so certainly not going to get spotted right away. Uzak is going to take over the position now, so the punishment would be available, but there simply is no spot.
I mean, the thing here, W is just banking on a repush almost when they start taking the strike. You know, they're like, okay, Brain, go into the strike. If they repush you, we have Gorilla and we have double 430U ready for this, and it's going to be beautiful.
Well, let's see. First of all, the Northern Strike is, as so many times before, gonna bait a lot of people into driving into it, but suddenly, all of a sudden, it's gonna be double E100 with the 430Us opening up from behind as well. So, Frugo, he wanted this to be a 1v1. It's not gonna be one, as Splatty and Frugo are gonna drive in. but that mouse obviously extremely healthy, and the E100 gun's not the best penetration values.
Yeah, but I mean, they're killing Profuse though, slowly but surely. Splatty's down towards 800, but look at Yusek's damage HP in return, 564. And yeah, these E100s are bleeding, Kihan, but Yusek is dead. Profuse is also. And this bait from W has actually worked wonders. I mean, sure, the mouse takes a while to die, but they're trading it out the whole time in return for that.
Exactly, and the double 430U behind the triple E100 is going to ensure the death of another tank with that E4. I think he ended up getting strike, but that was a lot of HP to chew through for the 430Us as well, and that is where they absolutely excel in this kind of situation. Now Mafia, 4,000 HP less, starting with a cap play here, but, you know, W, they can actually chill and, you know, assert whatever they have been getting in terms of dominance for this battle here, as Brainbreak already readjusted with that E100 is going to be enough to block the cap.
Kono and Conrad still in some sort of crossfire though, but nobody's spotting Itox right now, so Conrad's about to get surprised by Itox, and Conrad taking a shot there from Klurf will readjust in the bush, but Itox will find him at least for one shot, I would say. No, it's in the bush. Itox realizes Conrad is now running, but that's not before taking 420 to the face, which I think is also the exact average of the RHM.
That is the HE Alpha, as Itox now is going to make sure that Mafia are not going to take the strike in the middle of the map. The other one, though, is being taken by W, however. It's going to get picked up by one of those E100s, seems to be Frugal. That gives just so much more versatility towards the team of W that can now even, you know, just reset the cap whenever they want to, as long as Frugal doesn't die, of course.
I mean, Frugal and Splatty, they feel like they're a little locked in that position. But realistically, they're not. There was a 430U there of YOLO, which is gone, which they'll figure out right now as well, because EOS has pushed up even further to position and will take the information tower. And that will mean that W now knows that, or will know, that the 430U has left. Also, Kihan, it's time to start talking about the elephant in the room. And I'm not talking about my belly, I'm talking about the fact that W is up 2 tanks.
Yeah, exactly. Mafia are forced to make a move here, simply because they are down in tanks here, and if the battle time ran out, that would be the deciding factor in between both of them. Also, I think very smartly, iOS does not use the information tower right now. I think he's actually holding on to it. Never mind, he's going to use it now, but this is obviously going to reveal Conrad in his rotation over the southern side, and now Itox actually in a pickle because YOLO and Conrad would be able to double team on towards him. That being said though, YOLO is taking a lot of damage. I think that's the RHM as well. Klur from the top side contributing in. Itox though taking the brunt of it, taking the worst of it down towards a 2-shot because Kono with that bat shot was also there.
Kono trying to find an angle. He will get strike, though. He will get double strike, actually. So minus 800. And Itox pushing forward. Orchak getting pushed as well. Ios will find the kill there. Itox down towards the 1-shot. Kono should find the finish, but not before dropping towards the 1-shot himself. And now, still, 4,000 lead for W, who have just like, okay, you know, you're pushing our nords, we'll push your center in return. And now Yolo and Marcel in a little bit of a pickle, a little bit of a crossfire. There's a bad shot coming from them, but I don't think the bad shot has quite enough to do 6,000 average again.
No, exactly. As the 430U from Mafia is going to fall. Big strike coming in, though, on towards the tanks of W, but it's only the singular bad shot of Conrad remaining now for the team of Mafia. And W, it looked a little bit like they were getting outplayed in round number 1, but here in round number 2, a very interesting, very cool looking play with that triple E100 to bait out one of the mouses from Mafia. Good job.
Overall, a good job from W. This was a very interesting strategy, Kihan, and designed specifically to counter one thing altogether, which is the repush. And yeah, sure, Profuse drops and gets there relatively for free. It's everybody else that's dying for it rather quickly. That E4, I think it was the second round of peaks where the gorilla was like, yeah, buddy, this is just not going to work for you. You're dead.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the play here by the team of W completely working out. I mean, the fact as well that that Mafia were playing in towards what W wanted did obviously not help Mafia here. But yeah, Brainbreaker, we talked about him, newest or one of the new additions for W. And I mean, against the mouse, you're never going to have perfect pen rates with the E100 APCR. But pretty good job. And we can see actually the Gorilla not having the biggest of impact, but that was just because, well, all the damage was done before he could get to it.
There's not much else to say there except for Mafia just got straight countered, to be honest.
Yep.
I mean, it was a very good strategy from W. It was designed around the please repush. Please. We beg you, Mafia, to repush. And then they did. And then they lost. So, W could have been 2-0, Kihan. I think they had more room for 2-0 here than the other way around for Mafia to be 2-0. So, good showing from them so far. Morovanka coming out will kick up the pace a little bit, probably.
Yeah, it should normally, right? Morovanka is one of those maps where it does tend to go a little bit quicker than Airfield, which is not the hardest thing in the world considering how slow Airfield is being played. But Morovanka has been a kind of a question mark in my opinion still, because like it's been there also for the first season of OLS, but still we see a lot of like different approaches and a lot of strategies that are meeting, like clashing, but the teams have seemingly not settled on just one way of playing. That means to me that, well, if the meta hasn't settled, I think there is still new stuff to discover, new stuff to find out, and I think this is why we also see so many quick cap attempts and some of them even working out. That just means that, you know, teams have not properly figured out how to deal with it yet.
Although they've played against it a lot now, though, right? So they have a lot more experience with it as well. It's an interesting map to see, Keyhand, depending on did the metas shift a little bit more after the update, because of the, you know, Batcha now starting without level 1 ability. So for like a 1-2 engagement, it's worse than it was before. And of course, the slightly nerfed TD ability compared to before, we may see more. It seems like that 4 to the U is like the tank to go to, because I think that one got buffed in the beginning of the season, before the season started. The 4 to the U ability used to not have a level 1 charge, which means that it was pretty annoying to hit your first shot still, because the 4 to the U bloom, you're playing HP turbo probably. Kind of annoying, but now that the 4 to the U starts with a level 1 ability, I think it is level 1 or level 2, it doesn't matter, it starts with level 1 or 2. Haven't really played a lot of mediums. It means that, of course, the ability helps a lot with the gun handling as well, which in turn, you know, makes you more likely to hit your first shots, which means you hit more shots later on as well, because higher level ability. So the less TDs we get, the more 4 to the U's we seem to get.
Yeah, so far no E50M picks that I can remember though, although that one has the same ability. But to be honest, the E50M gun is a lot less iffy than the 430U gun. That being said though, on Morovanka there is a lot of, or there are a lot of fences, etc. So maybe 430U not the best choice, because the heat that the tank has will explode at the first sign of trouble, or fences rather. So sometimes, for example, in the past, we've even seen like 50Bs instead of T57s getting picked on Morovanka, simply because also those have APCR overheat.
Yeah, I agree. Morovanka is the map that has the most destructible objects almost out of any that I know. So, you know, it can be very annoying to even find an outline, because it's like there's a million fences in between you and the opponent you're trying to shoot at.
Exactly. That being said, though, I think Moravanka is also one of the maps with the most points of interest. Like, not only you have cap, but I think you have triple information tower and double strike. So that is a lot of things to play for, as we do CW once again with that triple E100 together with Jackthar, this time the Centurion, and triple 430U.
Mafia in return, Mivi, a double batch at 25T, a Hurricane, a 430 of their own, a Fudge B, and an RHM Panzerwagen.
Right, so W ditching the RHM completely. This means that they're obviously not going to have as much information available right at the start of the game. And for Mafia, yeah, I mean, chucking a 430U in there, I think the most important tank to also take note of is the Hurricane, or rather the CS63, because that one gets the baby strike if it gets the charges for it, which can be very important if you need to emergency reset.
The plane coming out and spots 7. So a beautiful plane there from YOLO, very important to put a good plane and a right plane. And now we will see if Mafia has what it takes to control this aggressive lineup from W. But they're going to be taking a lot of strikes. Yukihan immediately taking the mid strike, immediately taking the force strike as well. But on this map, you can be forced close.
Indeed, you can be forced close, but right now Mafia, I think, is doing a good job of just taking the resources that are scattered around the map. Also, Brainbreaker now taking 2 shots of damage in that E100. 20 seconds left on the cap, but the thing is, we do know Mafia have 2 strikes available, plus the CS ability is also going to get charged. Simply for striking here, we see the first one coming in. Big reset, that's 1200 damage. And Profuse already with 2 charges now on his CS ability on the baby strike. Frugo is trying to take some damage, but we do know that YOLO has a secondary strike if he needs it. And we do indeed already see the plane go down here. So W, they're putting all their eggs into one basket, but Marcel is already behind that basket trying to steal the eggs.
Yeah, Splatty in a lot of trouble. That position, the random position Kihan, doesn't really work for his tank right now, simply because of the fact that the forest is under control from Mafia. Now Itox and Brainbreaker trying to make a move onto Profuse. They have seemingly found this Hurricane in a bit of trouble, though. Brainbreaker himself dropping low, and Itox now getting shot in the side by Yuzek, and Conrad is double batcha, but of course that E100 very healthy. Will not just fall, but he'll take a lot for this. It's gonna be painful. Yuzek has 1 more, he will not miss a single one, and now Chlorify and Ios pushing on towards Orchek. Is this little too late for W? I ask the question. It's currently not looking that great for them, but if the 430Us can find numerous DPM shots here, then who knows? You know that once they start rolling, they are pretty nasty and pretty difficult to stop, especially with those bad shots that do have still a downtime in reload. You can see Conrad starting to feel the hurt, and the HP coming close, and W having all of their tanks alive, but that's a good strike from YOLO. Hits home on 2, and then Splatty and Jakefa together will go to the grave.
Yeah, exactly. And now Yuzek, also off reload in the bat chat, is able, together with Conrad, to take out Chlurf, and slowly but surely the tanks of W are dropping down. It took a long time to chew through the tremendous E100 HP, but now Mafia have found the opening that they needed. Ios dropping means Mafia go to match point 2-1.
Looked close there for a second, but this cap attempt against triple strike, I'm counting the CS strike because he's gonna hit it as well in a game like this. Once you get the level 3 strike on that CS, it's also a pretty big radius. So triple strike, plain information on all 7, it was always gonna be a hard game for them, like a very hard game. They tried, it didn't succeed. Kihan is very happy right now. He's like, yes, a prediction. I knew it when they didn't, with a little bit of luck.
And we'll see, we're not there yet. I mean, a lot of predictions could still come true. But first of all, we're going to take a look at the damage numbers, and we do see those bat shots on top beating out the 430Us from W that simply weren't able to stay in the fight for long enough to generate enough damage for their team to win. Actually, it's going to be Itox and a Brainbreaker on the top of the board for W. And for Mafia, yes, YOLO is down there in that RHM, but arguably he was the most important player on his team regardless, simply because he spotted 7 people at the start of the game, and also he provided the information that was needed for the resets.
I mean, yeah, the most important part for YOLO was hitting the first plane. Like, hitting a good first plane is very important for the information. Because if he misses 1 or 2, they're probably a little bit more, you know, like, cautious in the forest, or just in general, like, a little bit slower on everything. And, you know, now when you have full control the whole time, life is just a little easier.
Yeah, and I think upon spotting out what exactly W was bringing, the team of Mafia probably relaxed a little bit, because they realized, hey, what we have is actually pretty good against this cap attempt. We do have, you know, strikes, plenty of them, and we're also able to, you know, kind of stall against those E100s in the middle of the map that we're just trying to crash through and crash into the Mafia tanks to confuse them, maybe to take their attention away from the cap. But now it is going to be W fending off against those match points. They cannot afford any more mistakes. However, it seems to me like W, if it doesn't work once, just try again.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe they just thought that they were from the other side and decided to go with it, and now are playing from the side they expect to play from. But they're going again with the E100 AX and a triple 430U Mafia in return, though. Double BZ, Bat, AX, double 430U of their own, and the Arch and Panzerwagen. And it's interesting to see, Kihan. I don't think we've made a note of it, but the TDs are completely gone from Warvanka.
Absolutely. No Briskas and no other TDs either. So in the future, when Muravanka is being played, let's keep an eye out there. And once again, perfect plane coming out from the Mafia RHM player. YOLO lighting up 7. That is exactly the information that you want if you're Mafia.
Mafia looked to challenge, though, in some way, shape, or form. Profus pushing up together with Orchek already, which is an interesting one. Klurf and Splatty, will they punish? Yes, they should.
Well, 2 shots actually connecting in towards the BZ-75 of Profus, but now Orzek making it a 2-man cap. Profus actually deciding to go through here as Frugo starts rolling up in his E100, but on the other side there is another one of those as Brainbreaker also starting to move closer, but he's actually in a big crossfire here in between a lot of tanks as Profus and Orzek try to explode out of the cap, but Brainbreaker trying to hold Profus here as he completely gets annihilated.
Yeah, but it seems like Profus was tracked. They will not get him, though. He gets untracked at the right moment in time. Now Itox is still in there, and look at the HP, Kihan, which is a story of its own. I mean, Itox with that E100 will find Orchek. Klurf with the 430 will find Profus, and it's not like Mafia did not have the information available, and now Conrad is in a little bit of no man's land, but not just him. Barkas is taking a 1v1 on the 1-2 Lions as well, who's getting shot from behind, and now Conrad trying to run away, and YOLO carries a lot of HP for his team, but Yuzek is actually with Barkas, which will find them some success. But look at the damage they just received as well on that 430U of Yuzek, who's going to take 1 more from the AX. I think even drop towards 332. He will survive, but a big strike on Klurf and Itox. Conrad will not find the finish, though. Splatty protecting his teammate together with Itox, and it does look like Jakefa coming in with the finish, and currently W have an opportunity here to at least bring it to a tie-breaker.
Absolutely, Klurf here picking up another clutch strike, but gets struck down in return as well. And now it is a 4v4 with the HP being kinda even at this point in time. Obviously, the E100 can regenerate a little bit of that, but I think Mafia, they have the outside positions, they have a good crossfire, and this is what Jakefa does fall down to. The Centurion Action X is gone. There is not going to be any Inspire anymore, as all of the HP that W have is still on Frugo. Splotty now also down towards a one-shot, gets completely outplayed by YOLO here, who even gets the kill. So now it is a 3 versus 2, but 2 E100s are not good tanks on Moravanka.
W100 versus a light. I think YOLO ruined them in the late game. You know, like you saw him from the forest, so annoying. Jakefa gets found because of it as well. They didn't see Barkus push up so far on the 3-4 line. They probably didn't even expect it. And then that light tank, Besky, annoying, finds planes, finds spots. Bloody dies because of him. Jakefa dies because of him as well. And then, yeah, the worst things to have HP on Moravanka, Kihan, in the endgame is the E100.
Yeah, it's slow. It doesn't have good camo. And that's kind of it. That's how the cookie crumbles, as some would say. Now Frugo is just going to get peppered and bruised from tanks that are more nimble than him. They're just going to, you know, have to wait a little bit to play this one out safely. But yeah, another strike is going to remove an additional 400. There goes another shot. And Mafia are going to take down the match. It is a 3-1 scoreline. That means no consolation point for W.
And who of the casters got that right? I think it was Phil, no?
No, I think everyone except me predicted W, no?
The correct score, Kian.
Oh, the correct score. I don't think that
wait,
matters
no.
if you have the wrong team.
Oh, yeah. You were the one that predicted Mafia. But you didn't get the right score, though, so...
No. So I get 1 point, but everyone else gets 0. So
wow.
It's like a race of snails, and
wow.
I guess I'm the fastest snail here.
A whole point, huh? Congratulations, Kian. Huge.
I mean, having points is better than needing points, right?
That was some life wisdom right there. An Onslaught story told by Kihan.
There is a lot of wisdom that I can still share with you.
That's one short list, but okay.
Talking about other lists, though, we do still have the list of damage for the past round that we can pull up here. And to be honest, I don't think it was like any big standout performance, except once again for YOLO, getting the big spot at the start of the game. And from there on, just completely escalating with that RHM. Probably some of that damage is also due to strikes. I don't think his gun alone was able to do 6.5 in the rather short amount of time
6.5
that
though.
This game here took.
Jesus.
Yeah, 6.5, good number.
That's a very, very large amount of damage there from that. That's a crazy amount of damage for a light tank, actually. Even on the map where he's free playing, like he was hitting home on those W players. YOLO carrying his teammates to a 3-1 clean victory. Also clean points, most importantly there.
Yeah, exactly. No consolation points for W. And for Mafia, this is quite the important victory because, like, tier ranking wise, I wouldn't put a whole lot in between both of those teams. So those are essentially direct competitors battling it out here against each other. And for Mafia, clean 3 points are obviously going to be huge. That being said, I think we're going to go towards some replays and then we'll be back with the second match of the day. See you soon.
Ring in the Year of the Snake fully armed. Open Lunar boxes and get resources, vibrant styles, and premium vehicles. The desirable Skoda T56, the futuristic AAT60, the jack-of-all-trades WZ111 Model 6, the high-explosive Gonzalo, the adorable Meal, the ambushing object Kust, and the new Tier 9 Premium Kampfpanzer Erich Concept 1. You can find each one of these excellent vehicles in Lunar boxes.
Hello there, and welcome back for the second match of the day. It's going to be two teams that so far have kind of equal standings, 0 points for both of them. That is going to change.
It will change for one of the two. But I feel like Ping is more favored in this regard. I think Bombers is currently 4 matches in and 0 and 12 in round difference.
Yeah, I think so too. Ping at least was able to snatch up around here, around there. So they are currently in 7th. Bobers is in 8th, but as I said, the points are equal for either. It is 0. That being said, Ping, they're looking for their first victory in the OLS Season 2. Possibly they'll be able to get it. And yeah, the additions on towards Ping, not really striking home yet.
Yeah, and what point does the doubt set in for that team? You know, like for the players that switch, they're like, well, we made this move, but it's not paying off.
Well, the doubt probably has set in already, as we're over half of the Phase 1 in towards Season 2 now. And I mean, here, the lineup of Bober is one of the, or rather the latest addition actually for the Season 2 here in the requalification, making it through. And we do see actually community predictions going a lot with Ping. 66%, that's like 2/3 basically.
I think it's fair, to be honest. Based on the gameplay we've seen so far, Ping is the favorite team by a margin. But, Gehand, I wouldn't say that it's like going to be like super decisive here. At least I didn't find myself like thinking like, okay, Ping is going to clean sweep this.
Yeah, no, and the fact as well that a lot of the players on the Bobers team have experience from OLS Season 1 as well. I guess the problem for them is that a lot of the experience there was also not really being high up in the leaderboard under the name of Conquest, but they do certainly have a long-standing core of players that should come in handy in clutch situations. But we'll have to see, first of all, if those are going to arise. I guess now we can take a look at, first of all, David from Ping here, who despite his team not really having the best of experiences in Season 2 is at a 1 KD, which for a team that's losing a lot is actually quite impressive. Actually, as well for the average damage, 3,100, basically pen rate, absolutely impeccable, 95%. And yeah, Centurion, AX, and can opener, so a British tank enjoyer.
A British tank enjoyer, well, an AX. Although, you do expect the AX players to be the ones performing the best, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the role that the Centurion Action X plays, is we keep talking about it, basically baiting both teams, but the opposing team just a little bit harder than your own, just to be able to do a lot of damage yourself. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of difficult to predict the winner here. But we do now have the maps available to at least see what's going on there. We're going to start off on Westfield, so rather quick action is going to unfold there. And then we're hopping in towards Himmelsdorf. Interesting ban as well by Ping, banning Airfield. That was one of the maps that Bobos really liked first picking.
Himmels is also an interesting map between the two. I'm mainly looking forward towards Westfield because Kihan is going to bring up, Polish players. Westfield, great success, huge win rate map for them. So Ping should make the difference there. And if we do end up going to a tiebreaker, we're going to Studzianki, which is a Polish map altogether, so it's already decided at that point, yeah?
Possibly. Let's see. First of all, I mean, if it's going the way that either of the teams want, is then we'll not see Studzianki, because that would mean that, you know, one of the teams is going to net themselves 3 points. And if they want to have any hopes of making it to stage 2, I think this is sort of, you know, today's the last chance at starting to make a run here.
We shall see. Predictions, Kian. I want to hear what you thought was going to happen in this match.
I actually have to cheat and check what I predicted, because I do not remember. I think I went with Ping, but I'm not entirely certain. Let's see. Yeah, 3-1 for Ping.
I think I went with Ping as well, and I think I went with 3-1 as well. I think.
That's not what the sheet says. The sheet says you predicted.
Yes, I played the game of either I get a lot of points or I get none at all. You know, either I go home winning, you know, like clapping in the sky, or you know, I just be like whatever, yeah.
Or you're gonna be sad, standing in the rain, just, you know, watching it pour down. But yeah, this also means. Let's see the predictions here now. You're the only one going with the Bobbers. Huge possibility for you. Everyone else is saying it's going to be a 3-1, so rather smooth sailing for the team from Poland here. I think, judging by what we've seen from both teams in the OLS so far, is that both teams are likely to make mistakes. So here it's going to be crucial as to who is better at exploiting them.
I wish I didn't predict for Bobbers. Here I am.
It is what it is.
I looked at the points and I was like, it's okay.
Well, I mean, Westfield hasn't really changed that much since the abilities were changed, right? We still
quick action.
See,
although Ping brought for to the use last time, they tried.
They tried, but it didn't really look too effective.
Was that a tank issue or an execution issue or like a general opening issue?
I think it was a general opening issue. So let's see if they've been able to fix that, because obviously when you make quite obvious mistakes, it should in theory be easy to fix them. Ping now coming in once again. I think this before. Double Centurion AX, double for 30U, and triple Błyskawica.
Bobbers BZ75 Mivi, double for 30U, double Bliska, and an RHM. Can Dejdi do what YOLO did? Get a big plane in the beginning, Kihan.
That would certainly help the Bobbers in trying to get something going for themselves. In between both of those lineups, I think I actually prefer the one from Bobbers, just because it's more versatile. Also, the Mivi on Westfield in the past has demonstrated that the buffs that it received have really made it a powerful tank. As we do see the opening, and the plane coming out from Dede is going to see 6 out of 7 tanks, so 1 430U is missing.
I don't like the BZ by itself in C1 though, personally.
Yeah, I think Hero could get caught out. That being said, I think there is that little pocket that you can go into where he's going, so he's not going to go for the information tower. Instead, he's going to tuck himself against the border of the map, and there should, in theory, be a lot of tanks available to support him. As it stands now, Hero's starting to trade out with Jacek, and those trades are naturally going to favor the BZ. But as of right now, yeah, I think Ping is now going to go for it, and they are going to try and take out that BZ75.
Yeah, this BZ, I mean, he's a little bit hold down, but so far only one of the Blitzcans non-penning, the other one's penning, and of course now Bobbers is forced to make a move in return. Because once Hero falls, it is just trouble. And the second non-connection from the Blitzcans, they're taking a little bit longer than anticipated. killing this guy as Bobbers is pushing back in with Yosi leading the charge, but Yosi does seem to be a little bit too far by himself in that 430 US Hero falls. You see Yosi, he went in, no stopping, no surrender, but he will have done too much too soon. He gets picked up, and here come the rest of Ping swarming back in after picking up that BZ75. They're not just pushing, they're going up and over back into Bobbers, who are like, well, here we go again.
Exactly. Ping just marching through the lineup of the Bobbers tanks at this point. There is 3 of them left against 5 of Ping, but the HP, they tell the story of the game. The RHM is going to be the next one on the chopping block, and now only Adani remains for the team of Bobbers, and arguably that BZ75 in the corner even survived for longer than it should have.
There was like 2 non-connections on him from a Bliskavice. So that is, yeah, that's like 10 extra seconds, 20 extra seconds in total. Okay, you need to be very ready for the BZ to be pushed though. So basically when the BZ gets pushed, you already have to be ready to push back over yourself, which Bobbers was not. They were not in position to push back over, and even if they were, they still have the RHM as well from the side of Bobbers, so you don't really count it as a tank for that direct fight. So they have technically 1 extra gun to play around with, if you want to look at it that way. But that extra gun, maybe Yosi was the one. He could have been a little early, a little premature.
Yeah, Yosi doing 2 shots of damage in his 430, and obviously in that DPM tank, that's not where you want to be. The Mivi also not with the highest amounts of damage, considering that he lived quite long, and it's actually going to be Hero who is on top in the damage department. So that means that the rest of his team that were supposed to support him or supposed to overpush somewhere else just didn't get the ball rolling. And on the other side, the double AX is going to be on top, and they're obviously not only outputting the damage, but 2 Centurions means perma inspire for the entire team of Ping once the brawl starts.
Is that like a commandment to Hero for doing that much in the position he was in, or just like a, you know, the rest of the team ain't really doing enough in return?
I mean, I guess it's kind of a combination of both, actually. Like Hero doing every single shot of damage that he was supposed to, and the rest of his team not being able to convert in the time that Hero was buying them. So yeah, this first game here on Westfield, exposing a lot of oversights and I think weakness in the strategy that Bobbers were employing, because realistically, I do agree with you. If you put a BZ there, then you need to cover him.
We have seen, I think W put a Mivi there, I think, which might be even slightly better because more DPM, you know, you would do more damage. But at this point, let's start for Bobbers by picking up a round. You know, like small victories, Kihan.
Small victories to translate into big ones. Talking about big things, we do have an E50M. I think that's the first time I see one in OLS Season 2 while casting together with a Badger, a Centurion, a Batchat, double Bliskavice, and an RHM.
Bobbers bringing a Desak, a Grilla, a Leo, an AX, a Bat, and double E1 Hinder. Of course, you know, Grilla, powerful tank, Jan. I just don't know how good it is for Westfield. What do you think about that one?
So I'm mostly thrown off by the Titsak, actually. I don't really think that it is best suited for Westfield either, just because large parts of the map are so open. And in the shootout, the RHM can, you know, be better as well. And I think the Titsak is going to lose quite a bit of popularity as well, because like the TDs saw a nerf. So you're not going to see TDs as often anymore. So the perma-tracking from the Titsak is not going to be a thing.
Exactly. I think the Sak is just shifting out of meta altogether. Like you said, we talked about it, I think, last broadcast as well. Like, at what point are you like, okay, the Sak has seen its best days? Because, you know, it kind of has, right? It was cool against all the TDs. But now, when the TDs start dropping off, not really that impactful anymore. Double cap pressure right now for the setup ping. 30 seconds remaining. There is a strike available from Bobbers, but do note there is only one. Triple cap pressure will push it down to 15 seconds. And now the double reset should come on Like and David. It will hit home, so 800 damage on top of it as well. They started to abandon the cap idea because Tank Elite in that big old E100 has achieved himself on the cap, and Click looks to want to repush past the C100, Kihan.
Yeah, let's see. Click, first of all, is going to take some damage from that test suck in towards the side of his Bluskavitz, as Lucky is looking for the engage, but I don't think he's going to get too lucky with it, as he's going to be the first one into the fray, but cannot really make it further. Strike by the Leopard 1 is going to fully hit home for 250 damage, and now the damage just keeps on piling up against that E50M. Obviously, Yosi wants to tailgate it out of there, because he is not a brawling tank either in his Leopard 1. Both teams bleeding currently.
Ping is down quite a bit though, but Yosi is in a world of trouble in that Leo 1, down towards the one shot, getting chased down by Yasik as well. That Leo 1, they want to remove something here. The HP has gotten close again. It was about 3,000 in lead of the Pobbers, but now has settled down to about a 2.5k lead for the side of Bobbers. Tank Elite facing off against Adi in that Badger is getting the better of him as well. But now another rotation from Ping. They've been doing a lot of rotations this battle. Back across, completely abandoning the strike that they were playing for, and now pressuring back towards Tank Elite in that U100. Bringing their AX, bringing their Bliskavitz, restarting the cap, and we can see on the minimap, Kihan, that right now, Yasik actually takes that away as well. There's no strike available for Bobbers, so unless they're pretty fast on this one, Tank Elite is going to get pressured here by the Bliska, by the EX, and then, Kihan, it will be some trouble.
Well, there is the fact that they don't have a strike available isn't completely true, because the Leopard 1 is still alive and he seems to have 2 charges on his baby strike. So now 20 seconds here, shots coming in from Like from the sidelines. He is going to butter through the turret of the E100. I think he's hitting the side of the turret, so no problems with going through there. Dani is going to take another strike, Dadi with the info tower, but at some point the resets need to come in, as that is a triple cap attempt here, and indeed one of the Leopard 1 strikes is going to reset the E50M. And this means that Tank Elite, who even manages to block some of the seconds on the cap here, is surviving for a heck of a lot of time. Finally, Like has reloaded in that bat chat. Now we need to see a reset come in.
The double rotation from Ping, just too much to handle for Bobbers. They were decently positioned for the first and did a lot of damage, but the second one is what caught them. No return to the cap from them. Tank Elite trying to do what he can with that E100 blocking for as long as possible, but yeah, they got out-rotated there.
Absolutely. I think Ping with some really, really nice calls in the second Westfield, and you could see kind of the idea of what Bobbers was trying to achieve, but at the end of the day, I think Ping with the correct calls to counter what Bobbers were doing, and now it's already a 2-0 scoreline in this best of 5. I mean, Bobbers, if they want to do something, they do it now or never.
They had a nice lead at some point, but now again they're looking at match point, and this is crushing for this team. I mean, not sure how the mental aspect is, but you know, losing 4 matches is one thing. Being in your 5th match against your closest opponent probably, and being down 2-0 is another thing.
Yeah, exactly. And we see the damage numbers across the board not really that high, except for Miku, who somehow, somewhere was able to gobble up 4.2k. But yeah, most important thing, obviously, the cap completing here for the team of Ping. And this is going to mean that I think for the first time, Ping is going to be on match point. This already means a point on the board for them as well. And all of that said and done, sometimes the last point can be the most difficult one. So yeah, Himmelsdorf gonna be map number 2. And the thing is, Ping picked Westfield, so they wanted to play Westfield. Now comes Bober's pick of Himmelsdorf.
Well, now they need to do it. They have to prove themselves to themselves and prove to everybody watching that they are here for more than just a walkover at this point.
Yeah, I think towards themselves and also towards everyone watching, they want to prove that they are here to actually achieve something. I mean, also talking about, today with the test server, I guess the green badges came online, so possibly for the future OLS Season 3, you heard it here first.
OLS Season 3? Hold up.
You heard it here first, as I said.
I'm quoting
you need to get
one.
some... Feel free to. You need to gather some confidence, because possibly when it's talking about qualifying into it again, relegating into it, all that kind of stuff, however you present yourself here is going to have a profound psychological impact also on all the teams that you play for Season 3 then. That being said though, Ping, they have a chance to close the bag here. Triple E100, 1 CS63, 1 Cent AX, and double E4.
Bobbers bringing their own AX, bringing W100, a 4 to the U, an E3, and double E4. So, Gihand, one lineup looks a bit more hill orientated than the other.
I like the straightforward approach though from both sides actually. Like that is a lot of beef, a lot of meat on those E100s, but at the same time they do bring the E3s, the E4s to deal with this kind of armor. So far, unfortunately, I've not seen a single E100 driving around with a big boomstick. Maybe this one changes. Doesn't seem to be the case though.
Can you tell us the advantage of the big gun over the small gun, Kian?
Well, it does more damage, and also it like kind of negates one of the drawbacks of the small gun, and that is simply that you get a little bit more pen on the heat. It obviously comes with the problems of being heat as well, but first of all, the heat is on some players of Ping as they take the first damage of the game.
Look at the hill though. If starts feeling a little bit more adventurous, he will take it for free. I'm just wondering which tanks have not been spotted yet for the side of Bobbers, because is still very passive, so he may still suspect something is up. But now, with the 42 getting spotted, he is starting to pressure up towards the info point, and of course we know how powerful that crossfire position can be.
Yeah, absolutely. The CS63 is not only going to take the strike, but he's also gonna try and rain down hell from the hill position. He obviously, with the Zeppelin there, has potential to climb down quite quickly. But for now, it seems like entrenched warfare, as Miku actually does take 1100 to the face. That's going to relegate him down to now a mere 1100 that he has remaining. Make that 437 as another shot connects.
That's a beautiful shot there from Ghost, all the way on the 2-line actually, with that opened up part of the map around the cap. He finds an angle on towards Miku, who was very greedy, Kihan, very willing to make that peek on that corner, which of course we can say was never worth it to begin with. Now a big strike on a hit on the E100. That's 1.2k on triple E100. Pretty good for Ping's side. Deshdi is on the cap. They're taking more damage. And can you believe it, Kihan? Currently Ping in a driving seat, doing more and more damage, finding success, up 4,000 HP as well. Click crossing over, but where is he going?
He seems to be going on a journey, as Dede is going to put another shot in towards Lucky Crossing, and you can see continuously from the G-line this fire in towards the E100s. Yes, they're able to regenerate, but not as quickly as they're losing the HP. Lucky, the first one, to the grave. Now David trying to push a 430U with the Senti AX. Surely this is not a good idea. This is why Jacek trying to come as well to provide some assistance, to provide some support. But taking a look at the HP, the Bobbers at this point in time just far, far up.
Unbelievably enough, Bobbers are going to do it in match day number 5, or their 5th match. They're finally going to put a round on the board. They were 14-0, 0-14 before this. Now they're going to be 1-14. So they bring it back at least one round. That's more like it. They found all the positions they needed to shut this down, and Ping, I mean, the peak from Miku didn't help, but they were kind of locked in a terrible position with the way that Bobbers were playing.
Yeah, I think Bobbers just opening by opening had the better one. They were able to exert a lot of punishment on towards the players of Ping. There always seemed to be at least an E100, if not an E3 or an E4, ready to punish the peaks by the players of Ping. And now Yosi is going to try and remove Miku from the game here. Another shot by the E4, but it's not going to change anything. Dady actually going to steal it away. And now, like the only remaining player for the team of Ping, Bobbers have actually done it. They have built a dam. They've stopped the flooding of rounds towards the enemy teams.
Yeah, but if they're unlucky, there's going to be some corporate firm that finds that plot of land just a perfect place to build a new 3-story building, and they will dam the river further up so the beaver runs out of water, and then, you know, the Bobbers lose at the end. Or something like this. They lose their home. I don't know.
We'll see if Ping is that company or not on the second round of Himmelsdorf. But yeah, I think it's very, very nice to see for the Bobbers as well that, you know,
small victories.
If you put yourself into all the right positions, then hey, you can actually win rounds.
Moral of the story: if you try something for 15 rounds, yeah, you're gonna win one at least. You know, at some point. Sounds like a World of Tanks random battle.
Big question obviously gonna be, are they able to keep going? I mean, first of all, damage numbers, they're obviously quite high up there across the board, because there were so many heavies and super heavies in the battle. But yeah, lucky without a single shot of damage. That's not where you want to be. And we do see, like, from that hill, was able to do a lot of damage, but, you know, his allies, they were just losing the HP quicker than he could farm.
Across the board, no really bad things. I mean, Dashly farming the most there from the cap as well. They had all the positions, though, that they needed. They had 1-2 line under control. They had middle. They had the cap as well. You like to see it. Good for Bobbers to keep this up. But in now another 15 rounds, they're going to pick up the second one.
Will this be it, is the question, or will this be the end of the match? Also quite possible, of course, as Ping has looked pretty good on Westfield. It was Bobbers falling apart a little bit, but now they've stopped that, at least with the first Himmels round. And at least they're not going to go out of OLS without winning a single one.
I mean, they still have some matches to play, okay?
But this is arguably the easiest enemy.
Sometimes success comes when you least suspect it.
I did indeed have suspicions that Bobbers were going to pick up a round. That's why I predicted 3-1. But let's see if Ping are going to make this true, as once again the triple E100 together with triple 430U and a V4.
Bobbers double 60p, an E100, an AX, a 430U, a Blitzkowitz, and an E4. A little bit of everything. Ping a lot more straightforward.
Yeah, Ping very straightforward. And for the Bobbers, I mean, double 60 TP, it was nerfed, but it by no means is it bad now. So let's see what exactly they are going to do. I'm also not the biggest fan of the Bluska on Himmelsdorf, just because of the narrow gun arc. But maybe Hero will be able to make the gun sing, as obviously no one has a light tank, so no information right at the get-go. Double E100 getting sent down the 5 line for Ping. But Lemusandros is immediately committing in towards the window, and the Bluska of Hero is gonna try to take the information tower. He does spot out Adi, fails to find out about Click until it possibly is too late. Nope, the shot by Click does go wide, but the triple 430U on that 3 line. That is very, very aggressive. However, they are meeting double 60 TP.
And double the 60p will also hit home 750 roughly from both of those. But now the DPM starting to kick on and look at what is coming behind Adi and click in that E100, trying to put a pincer. Dejdi and Yosi will reload, but Yosi's already shooting towards the E100s instead, who are getting flanked by the AX of themselves. So now it's time to push up and over for the 40 to use from the cap. The double 60p looks like a snack, and Dejdi knows it because he gets deleted by Mati. Yosi in the secondary 60p now getting ignored even by Miku already at this point, as the 4 to the use show just why they're starting to become the more dominant tank on this map. And many others, they shoot through 260ps like there is no tomorrow. Now Hero in the Bliskovice has no ability, has no damage reduction, will also just fall. And that is Ping with 7 tanks still left standing against Bobbers. 4 with the HP staying in even, but the hopes of Bobbers to pick up a second round right now, Kihan, seem to be disappearing rather quickly.
Exactly. Bobbers here are currently down in tanks, and they seem to be unable to pick up those one-shots, which would be crucial for them, as Tankalid is trying to tank it out like a champ. But now Lemsandros, who was trying to support Tankalid, does get picked up by Marty as well. Tankalid going down, and only Ghost remaining for the Bobbers in the match here, facing off against Miku. He's gonna get shut down as well, and Ping with the 7-0 and almost 8k HP remaining are going to lock in their first 3 points, and my prediction.
This is yes, Kian, congratulations, you got your prediction right. Happy moment. Wow, look at him smile. It's like his first day back in school. Like, I'm so excited. Don't worry, 6 months in, I won't be so excited anymore. But nonetheless, good job to Ping, good recovery, and showing, yeah, what the strength of those 4 to the use. Gihan, the leading tanks, so quickly 60p. I mean, I think he fired 2 times, maybe 3 times. But once they activate that button, they just go through it. And then you need to have a team that is able to shut down 1 or 2 of those 4 to the use to really have a chance. And they weren't able to do that.
Nope. And you can see here, 2 for 30Us are going to be top on damage, but the spread is actually quite small, to be honest. Like, like actually doing top damage, but the spread is, yeah, almost not there. I mean, all of them were able to contribute in this round, and we can see Dady in that 60 TP being deleted after 2 shots, Yosi being deleted after 3. They did have 100% pen rate, but it doesn't matter when you have triple 430U and also, you know, E100s from behind you as well, just completely melting away those HP. So this in turn means that Bobbers get the first round of Season 2 for themselves, but the more important thing is that Ping actually get the first points on the board, 3 of those. And now this means that we will, obviously, after a little break, we're gonna come back to a Ukrainian derby. It's gonna be Cashback versus Darkside. So the currently leading team against Darkside, who have been maybe a little bit underperforming, but today might be the day where they surprise everyone. I
mean, last season they brought Cashback to a tiebreaker, if I remember, in the first round as well. So potentially Darkside has Cashback's number. We will have to find that out after the break. Ian is so tired and so happy to celebrate his predictions that we're going to have to take a quick look at the replay so he can calm down a little bit. When we come back, the action continues. Don't go anywhere. Enjoy the replays.
Onslaught Legends Series Season 2 is here. And you can make it truly special for participants and yourself. Boost the prize pool by predicting with team bundles. If your team wins, you can upgrade the included style to a shiny golden version. Contribute now. Well, hello there, and welcome back to the third match of the day. It's gonna be Cashback against Darkside. So once again, we have a clear favorite here in the match that should be a Cashback, but maybe Darkside can surprise us.
If I remember well, they were able to take Cashback to a tiebreaker in Season 1, so who says they can't do it again? For them, just picking up points is the most important part here, whether it be 1, 2, or 3. They'll take anything for Cashback. It's just to continue building on that good form. The foundation is, of course, there, but, you know, it's always nice to add another floor to the Burj Khalifa, right?
Well, let's see how far the tower is going to continue building the tower. The mountain of points that Cashback have amassed so far. I think only dropping 1 possible points to LTP out of all teams. Other than that, they have looked crisp, they have looked clean, and they certainly want to continue that today. Although, as you said, past season, Darkside, who we see on screen now, were able to give them a run for their money. Let's see if that's going to be the case today as well.
I mean, we hope so, Kihan. We hope so, but Cashback is a very dangerous team. Especially with, you know, the gold barbarian himself.
Get your emotes ready.
Yeah. Goat emoji. It has already started, Kihan. I can tell you that much.
Oh, well. Cashback here with 93% in the community predictions. I think that is the highest one that we are going to see today. Actually, I know because it was me putting or converting the community predictions into the sheet. But
you did some actual work today?
Well, sometimes that ends up happening, crazily enough.
That's weird because, like, you know, every time I message you, you're like, well, I'm currently on vacation, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta find that work-life balance, you know?
I know what balance it is for you. It's not really that balanced at all, but, you know.
It's also 93%, you mean?
Yeah, 93% vacation.
Well, anyway, Kitsunk is going to be the showcase player for a Darkside. 1.8 KD, average damage of 3.7. That is higher than anything that we've seen today, and probably also down to one monster of a round that Kitsunk had earlier in the season with the Gorilla. 9.5k might actually be the highest damage that we'll see all season.
Might be the highest damage we'll see for a long time, even in that. Well, that's Season 3. You heard it here first. Keyhand, 2025, 6th of February. About 15 minutes ago.
Exactly. But yeah, here, Got You Baby is going to be the standout player this time for the team of Cashback. KD of 11. I mean, when you don't die a whole lot, that ends up happening. Together with average damage a bit over 3.1k. Pen rate a lot higher than Kitsunk actually, but that is maybe also because of the different tanks that he plays. Batchat and Centurion. Kind of better gun handling, both of them now, than, for example, the Udas.
Yeah, he's been playing less AX overall, I find, compared to W, where he was always playing AX, no?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just my memory that thinks of him as just AX. But yeah, he's been actually doing very well in Cashback. They have been rotating though, so it's like him and Twilight, I think. They've been rotating in. I'm not sure if it was Twilight, but Baby doesn't always play.
Yeah, exactly. Getting rotated in and out of the lineup, or the playing roster, I guess. Now, however, best of 5, and after Pilsen and Studzianki, which are going to be the 2 respectively banned maps, we are going to start on Ensk. I think not the biggest surprise, considering one of the teams is Cashback. And then we're going to go to Airfield. All right. And yeah, if we make it there, then the tiebreaker would be Cliff. But first of all, Ensk is home turf for Cashback.
Yeah. Ensk. I feel like every time we watch Cashback play, we see Ensk.
Mm-hmm.
No?
No one banning it out really against them. And on the other side, I mean, Darkside not first banning Ghost Town, instead leaving it open. Also quite dangerous against Cashback, but that just goes to show how good of a team they actually are when there's like multiple maps that you probably don't want to play against them. But in this best of 5, you obviously only have one ban available before the picks come in. So you're going to end up playing at least one map against Cashback where you know they've got the map absolutely down.
It also just means that everybody's okay with playing Ensk against Cashback, though.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they are less okay with playing something else against them?
Yeah, sure, but it's just interesting. I think it's like the third match in a row where we see Ensk as first map for Cashback. So, anyways, predictions. Wow, Kihan with the odd one out. 3-1 across the board, except for Kihan with a 3-0. So he's playing those angles. So Mr. Kihan might just care about the prediction game more than he let off so far.
Well, what do you mean? It just, I just want to keep on winning.
Keep on winning.
And I mean, the match against LTP by Cashback, in my opinion, was a little bit of an outlier. The other matches, they have been a lot more decisive, a lot cleaner. Maybe they weren't properly respecting the team of LTP, maybe not showing up with their A game, but against Darkside, that is not going to happen. And obviously the map that they picked, where they are known for being a very good team on, is maybe the proving ground and maybe the first stepping stone in towards winning this match cleanly as well.
Do you actually think it's going to be 3-0 or you just want it to be different? Be honest.
I think there is a very good chance for it, yes. But obviously we'll have to see. Okay, Cashback actually switching things up a little bit. Triple E100 together with a bad shot, an E50M and double Fosh B.
Interesting. Darkside in return, double E4, an E3, a Fosh B, a 4 to the U, a bad shot, and a 705A.
So Darkside is still going with that Juggernaut TD meta. Meanwhile, Cashback have gone over towards, once again, a lot of meat, a lot of beef. Triple E100, that is basically 12,000 HP that Darkside will need to chew through, and that's not even half of the team.
I mean, the Fosh Bs are basically the same HP pool though, Kihan, if you think about it. I feel like Fosh Bs heal on average at least 1,000, no?
If the player uses the ability correctly.
Or if they use the ability at all.
Yeah, well, some of them seemingly forgetting in the thick of the action to do that. First of all, though, Trash Panda is gonna get the Arty Strike on the green of Ensk, and Dries is going to complement that with an information tower, but I think he actually got reset. So as of right now, Darkside don't really know where the Cashback tanks are on the cap, or at least one of them, because ISED has now been spotted in his E100.
Vladislav trying to make some shots happen. It's not able to do so. Aka taking one from Xank on the back, and now another pincer. We've seen this before, I find, from Cashback. This kind of pincer. Hellmine in a lot of trouble there in the 705A. The strike coming in, and yeah, they're converting in the meantime on towards Twilight in the 100, but that's the tank you want the damage to be received on. Vladislav getting clipped out by Liberty. Can Liberty out-kill him? And the heal as well, it's going to be little to pick it up, so he does not get the heal that we want. And look at the HP in the meantime. I mean, immediately Cashback find Vladislav and Hellmine down towards the one-shot, but ISED and Twilight are just tanking it out as a champion. And those E100s, Kihan, you talked about it, that 12,000 HP block on the 5-line is not able to get deleted by Darkside whatsoever. They can try, but they will not succeed.
Absolutely. Darkside seems to be lacking the firepower to blow up those 50Bs, as Liberty, about to come off the long reload, is going to dip into his clip once again. Trash Panda finally able to remove one of those E100s from the board, but at the cost of basically everything, as Dreamer starting to get deleted by those Fosh Bs as well. The Bat Chat driving by as a little snack too, and Cashback just like that make it look easy. It's going to be 1-0 for the favorites.
And rather quickly as well, I feel like the Spencer, we saw it from Cashback before, E100's pushing down the 5 line, eating up the damage, and then the Fush Bees coming out of the 2 line. I'm not sure again who it was, maybe it was a Bobbers, I think, where Radim forgot to activate the ability, by the looks of things. This time Vladislav did pop his ability, but he just got, you know, the ability heals you. If they keep shooting you though, there's a chance that they kill you before you heal back the largest amount, which was what they did. So, good stuff from Cashback. Quick, effective pincer from 2 sides, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is also that Vladislav wasn't able to retaliate properly in the Fosh B. Not entirely sure what happened there, because normally, like, when you're the one getting pushed in the Fosh B, you should at least be able to deal like 3, 4, 5 shots of damage before, you know, you end up getting deleted, if that's even the case. And on the other side, I mean, one of the E100s ending up falling, but I think Twilight gladly sacrificing himself here. Also, good pen rates across the board for the players of Cashback. And Liberty, one of the standout players for his team as well, with essentially a perfect game. That man, you can put it in an RHM, you can put him in a Tessak, you can put him in a Forge B. He has also been playing Centurion, I think, at some point in the past. Just absolutely versatile.
Mainly Forge B and Lido, if you think about it. I think is the most played if I had to check.
Yeah, I think light main and then whatever needs playing. The amount of experience that this guy has as well in Onslaught is absolutely absurd. Like, he seems to be playing the mode quite a lot, even outside of trainings that do come on top and are not counted in towards the service record, obviously. So, yeah, experience together with good marksmanship and an ability to read the map, making him an extremely valuable asset for Cashback to have. Now, however, let's see if we'll be able, or if Darkside will be able to get one on the board here as well, because in this first round, it just seemed like the meta has shifted and Darkside has not adapted. And once again, Cashback with that triple E100 Batchat double Fosh combination. This time around, it's going to be backed up by an E4.
Darkside in return, bringing E100 mouse bad for 30U, double Forge B and E3. The return of the Forge B as well, Kihan, you've noticed? More and more yet again. This Bliskovice E4 V4 meta is, by the looks of things, dying out.
Yeah, I mean, both teams bringing an E3 or E4 respectively, but the amount of Forge Bs is starting to grow, at least on ends, because that's like the thing. Some tanks will be very, very good on some maps and completely stink on other maps. And it's only quote-unquote 2 per side. But we'll keep an eye on this, as Cashback are very, very aggressive in the city with that Batchat double Fosh B combination, but actually Darkside is kind of mirroring this, and we do now see the bats that are obviously not reloaded at this point in the battle here, as Liberty takes the first shot and the second of damage, trading it out with Kitsunk here. Is very, very late, I think, with activating his ability, and now both of them are gonna start healing a little bit.
It gives you a higher percentage on the heal, and I think Liberty, in terms of HP, won that anyways. Taking those shots, but then getting the higher percentage keyhand can be worth it if you time it right. And timing is everything, as Little says. Well, I know you're reloading, so I'm gonna give it to you just the way you want it. From behind in that E4, picking up the first gun of the game, Xank, and now Squeezy flanking Vladislav, who has 3 more shells available. He will need some help though. He'll need some milk, because Squeezy's about to run into a wall of green as Darkside return with a kill of their own. Squeezy there trying to do something which was impossible, and Twilight in that E100, that big old German heavy, not that much HP remaining.
Yeah, exactly. However, now Vladislav in that Foshb is going to get blown up as well as Liberty, seemingly reloaded with the Foshb of his own, is going to put quite the punishment in towards Hellmine. But whether there's one Foshb, there's two, as Barbarian is coming on with his fully loaded clips, trying to supplement the double E100 push that has come through the middle. And you can see that double E100, they make the bat shots just look silly. The damage output is not there to stop them.
Cashback trying to keep the ball rolling, but Darkseid keeping them on their toes right now, as I said, will get the ram against Dreamer. That drops him towards the one shot. He will, however, not find the shot though. That E100's a tall tank. It struggles with those pesky 430 use. He's probably screaming right now, Little, I need somebody help. And Little comes in and helps him out. Shuts down Dreamer in that 430 U, and now with 5 tanks left standing, Cashback. They made it closer than it had to be, especially that play from Squeezy on the 1-2 line, but still those Foshbs bringing them across the finish line as the ones from Darkseid fell rather early. That puts all of the HP on Shockerick and Trash Panda, and that's where you don't want it to be most of the time when you only have 3 tanks remaining. Dries, however, not done just yet, picks up Barbarian. The goat is down. Repeat, the goat is down. But this would be pretty hard for them to come back in.
Well, let's see. Obviously, the E100 and the mouse by Darkseid need some time to go down here. That is still a lot of HP to chew through, but now in comes a strike here. Akka trying to hold the mouse in there, does succeed as the other tank falls. Dries now from the sidelines with that bat shot, trying to make something, trying to make anything happen. Does attract and damage little here, but now Liberty once again has arrived with the Foshb, is going to shut down the dreams of Darkseid on Ensk. It's going to be 2-0.
They found that first Foshb really early, to be honest. So after that, it was never going to be too good for them anymore. I mean, you know, the Foshb got most of his clip out, but in return, they find the kill, and then the second Foshb died a second tank. I think the Foshbs in this kind of composition are the most important, not to lose early, and I think Darkseid lost both of them after one clip.
Yeah, exactly, and the effectivity of this clip is also something that we should question, because if it's Foshbs trading against Foshbs, then some, or maybe even most of the damage that you deal is going to be a non-factor. And indeed, like Kitsunk getting out 1600 damage, but if the Foshb on the other side does heal 1000, then effectively you've only done 600. So yeah, and Vladislav here 666, perfect clip, but once again, how effective was it really is the question, as Shockerick and Trash Panda actually the biggest damage dealers. And on the other team we can see that yes, Twilight did go down early together with Squeezy, but the rest of the team slightly less or even more than 4000 damage on each of them, and that is obviously something that you're then not able to overcome anymore.
No, and the Foshbs are just so important, Keyhand. I mean, Barbarian, look at him, 3.7 with Liberty, then 5.2 and 3 kills as well, 4 kills between the two of them. If you then compare that, of course, to Vladislav and Xank, I mean, Liberty alone is the equivalent of 2 Foshbs for Darkseid. It's not a story that ever ends well in that regard. And when you have this lineup now that has more specialist tanks that are supposed to do the damage compared to before in Ensk, where you had 7 TDs, where every single one of them can be the one to do the damage. In this case, you need those specialist tanks to survive.
Yeah, indeed. You need them to survive, you need them to deal the damage, but none of that was actually true here. And now we are going to go in towards Airfield. And Airfield, I mean, we did see it once before being played today already. And there we saw Mafia trading it out with W, and we saw W, I think, most importantly also, they were kind of dipping into the super heavy / E100 meta, with basically putting one on towards the strike and then baiting the opponent to come there and then clap them with 2 more. So the triple E100 is not something completely unheard of, but this obviously poses the question as well, like, this many E100s, yes, that's a lot of armor, that's a lot of HP, How would you counter something like this?
I mean, if you find the right engagement key hand, you can play around them having those many heavies, but it's not clear cut. Like, there's no clear cut counter except for having your own beef and then outplaying them on the specialist tanks, such as the Forterius, such as the Forspies.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, something we haven't seen so far, which I think can be quite influential against things like E100s, for example, would be T57. Well, you essentially put out 1600 damage and then you reload in 20 seconds.
1600 damage, Kian, but you need 3 T57 clips to kill an E100. And the exposure time, sure, is less with the ability, but still. I mean, and even then, you have to find an engagement where you get to do 4 out of 4. 57 counter. I don't know, Key. I'm not entirely sure. Why you bring a 57 Key when you can bring a Fushby? It may not have 340 heat, right? It may not have 340 heat, but you get 6 shells and a heal.
True as well. So I think it will be up to the teams to explore more into well, whatever tank really, but something that would counter the E100. Because right now,
Type 5 heavy.
At least, oh god.
Yeah, that's it. The Type 5. we must buff the Type 5 heavy derp.
And then we should enable old AG splash as well again, so that basically.
Think about it. Type 5 heavy buff with an ability, the tsunami or something like it has like a splash effect. So if you hit somebody for 900, any enemy within a 500 meter radius takes 300. You know, as a.
That sounds absolutely horrible.
I will propose it next week. Do not worry.
All right. Well, do that. Do that.
I bet Sergey wants to hear my ideas more than you do.
I mean, it's very possible because I don't want to hear ideas like this at all.
That's funny because every time I looked at one of your map guys, I had the same feelings. It's maybe just like a karma or something, Key. Right?
So you heard it here first as well, that if the Type 5 gets buffed with such an ability, you know who to thank.
You know what? If the Type 5 gets buffed, I don't think that I would be having the community against me. I think they would be like, yeah, until they realize what it entails and then be like, eh. But for a brief moment in time, Kian, I will be their hero.
Well, first of all, talking about heroes, we need Darkseid to step up. One or multiple of their players need to become heroes now because, as we see above the two of us, it was 2-0, and this means that it's match point once again. It's one of those times a day where it's do or die for a team, at least in this matchup here. Obviously, Darkseid by far not out of the OLS. I think that is more likely to happen to Ping and Bobbers, if we're being honest, thinking about the standings, but obviously you carry over the points from stage 1 or phase 1 into phase 2, so anything you can collect now is obviously going to help you later. And actually, production coming in clutch, saying if Darkseid lose this...
Don't say production, just say your boss, Kian. It's okay, we can live with it.
All right, my boss coming in. He's obviously taking a look at all the spreadsheets, and he says that Darkseid then are gonna have the same amount of points as Ping. So anything... Well, anyway, we're going to take a look at the standings after the day...
I don't think
it's pretty difficult to.
I don't think he had understood anymore. Like it's like this poor brain's like, I don't understand.
Well, what I do understand is that if Darkseid don't start winning here now, then they would complete my prediction as well with the 3-0. As we do indeed see a T57, but that's not the most weird thing in my opinion, because Cashback are doubling down with the auto-loading heavies. It's going to be double 50B, double E100, double Mino. Only the EBR doesn't have a friend.
Now, In return, he's facing off against a 105, a Jagdpanzer, a Guerrilla, a Bat, a 5A, a T-57, and a BZ. Oh, the T-57 again, look.
Yeah, T-57 and also 13105. Gonna be interesting. Last time we saw EBR versus 13105, I was gonna say the French light tank, but that applies to both of them. The French auto-loading light tank didn't have the best of showings. That being said, Squeezy is obviously gonna be there earlier, him being the wheeled version, and now Trash Panda coming in. Liberty letting off a shot, but is not going to connect here, and this means that Trash Panda is going to completely clip out, put Squeezy down towards 746, and this means he's now a one clip for the AMX that can reload in peace, it seems, as Vladislav is going to peek in towards that 50B, and we see this explosive power of the T-57 able to completely annihilate the 50B.
And now Trash Panda starting to peek out against Squeezy, who has nowhere to go, nowhere to run. Trash Panda does not rush it, he will just hit it, and that is 2 tanks down for Cashback. In a good position here for Darkseid to convert this round. Barbarian and Naka marching on, trying to find something that's into the Jagdpanzer though. That is ideal for Darkseid, as now 3000 HP lead and all the positions in their favor. It does look like Darkseid with this opening of 105 and Batcha 25T across the B line have done themselves a great favor in this battle, as they're about to pick up their first round in this match on airfield, but a very fast airfield nonetheless, Kian.
Extremely explosive airfield, as Darkseid now have 4000 HP advantage together with 3 guns that they have additionally as well. And one might ask, why is Hellmite playing the 5A? Well, turns out the tank actually has a lot of DPM, and against those E100s driving out in the open, that's obviously exactly what you want to have, as Barbarian is popping one more heal, but Vladislav already in the long reload is not going to take much longer, is instead going to take Barbarian out. He is dying after it, but with 6 guns still remaining, I don't think Darkseid have any potential angle where they could throw this.
They cannot lose. They cannot lose this anymore. Little's the last one standing. That's a little bit too much for him to bring this home. And as we see, Darkseid picks it up. They were very happy with that one. You know, Liberty even kind of giving himself on a platter there as well. Rare mistake, or was it a call? Who knows? But either way, they did pick him up for free almost, with Gihan's beloved T-57 Heavy.
I mean, I didn't say I love it. I just said it would be an option, and certainly it did help here. That 50B especially just got completely melted away. But yeah, it is food for thought here for Cashback. And Darkseid, they must be happy with themselves because obviously they can't afford any more mistakes. But with a kind of funky tactic, they're able to completely take the wind out of the Cashback sails, and now they just need to do it once more on airfield to even go towards a tiebreaker. And actually the Batchat is going to be the top damage tank, and the BZ actually being second. All right. But yeah, an answer has been found by Darkseid, at least on airfield, against all of those E100s.
I mean, they didn't really counter the E100s though, you know, like there was they got a few before that, but yeah, Cashback tried something here, didn't work out. I mean, EBR, you see it struggle, right, against, you know, if it doesn't get the tank that's against him stopped one rock earlier with no ability to cross, then yeah, you know, it's gonna suck usually.
Yep.
Because it loses a 1v1 against literally everything almost in that position.
Yep. And I think at that point in time, like if you make it this far in the 13105, then that is usually a 1v1 that you win, because you only need to expose for 2 shots of the EBR, because, well, every time you expose, you're going to do your 3 shots. And that is enough to take down the EBR, even with the boosted HP that Onslaught provides.
What can we see come out of this now, though? What do we expect? Looks like Cashback wants to, make this a quick ordeal though. Going very aggressive on numerous rounds, trying to find success with it, but so far Airfield not the one. Round number 2 of Airfield, Little in the 50B, Barbarian in the 100, Aka Twilight Mouse. I said Mino Squeezy on the EBR, again and Liberty on the RHM.
Yeah, and on the other side, we do have Darkside bringing out the MBY, the Mouse, the T57 once again, together with a batch at W4 and the 13105 yet again. Which of the two LTs is he going to meet in the north of Airfield is going to be the question. We did see how the 13105 was faring against the EBR. We have yet to see how it would fare against the RHM, but obviously the start of this game is going to be different because the Plane of Liberty is going to connect on towards Trash Panda, and this means that the EBR is going to have the info available. Liberty also driving very, very far to spot this 13105 to eliminate the threat for the EBR.
Yeah, but now you have the thing where the EBR does start shining though. He got across where they wasn't spotted in the beginning either, and he can start peeking now on towards Trash Panda whenever he wants to. And we know Trash Panda's stuck at the back rock. He's probably not going to push across either, so,
Yeah. Trash Panda kind of stuck here. Vladislav also taking a shot of damage, I think, by the Mouse. So pretty good roll coming out of Twilight here. And now Squeezy having a look at what Trash Panda is doing, putting in a shot of damage, only getting wheeled in the process. So does keep all the HP available. And now we see the T57 against that E100 is not really able to trade favorably because he cannot control the engagement here. Barbarian was able to drive back, and another HE shell by Squeezy connecting in towards the 13105, and Little from the sidelines is able to pick it up. The 13105 not a factor for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, that's the issue, right? When you get stuck on that part, Gihan, you just see the EBR slowly but surely outplay that 105, outspot him as well, and then the 105 just ends up kind of exploding in return. And not just the 105, Dreamer taking an explosive round to the face as well, dropping him to 1.6. And now how does Darkside recover here?
That is a good question, because obviously the information tower has been used as well. This means full info currently available for the team of Cashback. They do see that the Batshot is in crossfire. I think this is why we don't see a complete push over the north, but Little with two well-aimed shots in towards the side of Hellmind. That is just those little engagements as well that are going Cashback's favor here, together with being up a gun.
They are taking the mid-strike as well now, though, so Cashback time is in their favor, as you now see Darkside group up on that corner in front of Twilight. They're gonna pull around now. Shockrigs leading the charge, trying to find that very first Mouse player, but so far they're not really finding much success. Dreamer not even betting. That's the first strike. That's the second strike as well. Strike again right there, as one on everyone from Darkside almost takes a strike to the face there. They will try to make it happen on that corner. They realize that time was against them, but it's not the case for them today. Twilight's Bastion holds strong as Darkside's HP is dwindling in front of the sun. Losing the 105 crippled the team and never allowed them to get back up its Cashback. A quick fashion. They did lose around Gihan, but after that, very dominating.
Absolutely. Cashback here with a very dominant performance, as you said. One round on Airfield not going to their way, but I think they also tried out something a little bit funky with that double 50B that, ended up not working out. But here, back into stride. Cashback are going to take it a 3-1. This means they also are going to take down a clean 3 points, which is, for them, the most important thing about this match, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they keep building on the points that they already have. They're picking up another 3, keeping the top of the board in their favor, and they're just looking down at the rest, and they're just waiting for LTP to show what they got as well.
Exactly. Before we get into that, though, first of all, let's take a look at the damage numbers. And, well, the 13105 not having the best of games, I think that is very fair to say. But the rest of his team also not really with a lot of impact. Like, yes, Dries was able to do 2 clips of damage, essentially. But that's kind of all she wrote for the team of Darkside and Cashback. Obviously, like, it was looking like every single engagement was going their way. To be honest, they kind of played a little bit of a counter as well, I think, with the RHM spotting out the 13105 and then the 50B directly going to be able to intercept. I think that saved the EBR that they had, Squeezy, from a lot of headache, like in the round before. But yeah, Cashback 3-1 versus Darkside, the next matchup. And the last one for today is going to be one of the, I think, a bit surprising teams, is fair to say. Although, you know, LTB have been surprising positively. And for Hit and Run, that's not entirely the case.
Hit and Run has been up and down, Keyhand, let's put it that way. But, you know, maybe we get to see LTP that played against Cashback, which would be a very interesting match.
Yeah, I think we're in for, I think, one of the most unpredictable matches of the day. Yeah, let's see, after some replays, what exactly will come out of both teams.
Bring in the Year of the Snake fully armed. Open Lunar boxes and get resources, vibrant styles, and premium vehicles. The desirable Skoda T56, the futuristic AAT60, the jack-of-all-trades WZ111 Model 6, the high-explosive Gonzalo, the adorable Meal, the ambushing object Kust, and the new Tier 9 Premium Kampfpanzer Erich Concept 1. You can find each one of these excellent vehicles in Lunar boxes.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the last match of the day. It's going to be France against Poland, LTP against Hit and Run. I think.
So who's Mbappe? And who's Lewandowski?
Well, that is gonna be the question, right? But yeah, LTP so far, I think, have compared to expectations before the season. I think they have overperformed. And Hit and Run, I think, have stayed a little bit below expectations.
Yeah, Hit and Run's been hit or miss a little bit. It's not a wordplay on their name, but okay. So who's Mbappe, Kian?
Not sign-ups.
I mean, he's
But yeah, obviously, team lineup of LTP. I think the weirdest thing is that Joy actually looks quite stern, not joyful at all. That job is taken over by Ruev. Look at how happy the man is with his little beanie.
This is like the smile you put when somebody tells you to give a bright smile on your school picture. You know, like ah.
Although he does look like he's out of school.
I mean, you never know.
You never know. And on the other hand, actually, this is kind of team versus of the teams with the jerseys, because you can see Hit and Run. A lot of them are wearing the black dresses they had as well at WCI, where they shone so brightly. But since then, kind of fallen off a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if it's fallen off because, like, you know, it's been up, down, you know, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Ooh, that is one interesting community prediction. Basically split down, right down the middle, 52%, and I think it's fair to say only for Hit and Run. Meanwhile, LTP 48. So
it's close. It's close.
It is.
If you show somebody this prediction at the beginning of the season, right?
They call you crazy.
They would call you crazy. Versus screen.
A versus screen indeed. We are going to see Zeton and a Monster compared here. Battles played 17-14. So far, so good, but actually win rate 65 basically for Zeton, and Monster only 43 at this point in time. Damage numbers kind of similar, KD's kind of similar, pen rates kind of similar. Monster has played more tanks, and the main tanks also differing. Zeton more of a Batchat main. Monster has played the Bluskowitz a lot, but, you know, that a lot of that might be down to it being stronger before the nerf we had on Monday.
Map pick and ban, so Kihan. Enskin Himmels being removed brings us into Studzianki for the very first map that's going to be played between these two. A slower map that can still be played quite quickly. But as I say that, okay, but the TT meta going a little bit out of fashion, do you think that slows down Studzianki?
Let's see. What's certainly not going to be possible as well as in the past anymore is this bait and switch strategy, like V4s on the cap. Simply because they will also not have the ability right at the start to accelerate them towards the cap. On the other hand, Cliff is also going to be played differently because of the Batchat not holding the single charge at the start of the battle anymore. This means that you're going to have to fully reload your clip into where before you can get it down to a little bit above 20 seconds at game start. And then if we actually make it to tiebreaker, this one would happen on a Ghost Town, which is also quite interesting because LTP, especially on Ghost Town, have looked kind of hit or miss as well.
I'm mostly interested about the compositions here on Studzianki. Like, what are we gonna see? Do they still go for those TDs? A Rise of Grilla, a Rise of 430U? I don't know, I do not feel the 430U is that good on this map.
Well, let's see what we're gonna get. Daki actually saying LTP is gonna take it home. Meanwhile, everyone else basically is seeing like the alright, big name hit and run. Let's predict for them. Although Moff is going for a tiebreaker. Alright.
Yeah, dude, I did these predictions like 2 days ago, Kian. You know, it's like LTP is gonna win. Why not?
Well, why not? That is indeed the question after their pretty good showing that they had so far. But I think we are just about ready to jump into the first round of the last match of the day. And your question as towards what the compositions are going to be are answered right here, right now for Hit and Run. E100 Centurion, 430U, Foch B, 1 E3 still remaining, and an RHM.
LTP bringing a Gorilla, an E50, a Bat, a Mivi, W100, and an RHM themselves. Okay, so like this is going to be a slower Sejank, you know?
I mean, the fact that LTP has picked a Gorilla indicates that they want to play it slow, play with control. Also, both teams with the RHM, I think that signals towards us that there will not be any kind of immediate cap aggression going on, because normally if you pick an RHM, then, well, in the fighting tank department, you're going to be a little bit down. As Synops in the MVY is going to transition over towards the north of the field, but already Mentos, I think, managed to snatch up the spotting tower. And this obviously did give full information to the team of Hit and Run. LTP are going to send the E100s a little bit closer towards the cap. But so far, a very, very controlled opening by either side.
Yeah, this is a more slow approach to this Studzianki. Of course, with less TDs, the battle does slow down a little bit. More rotations coming in, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Now Hit and Run edging towards the south. Foch B for to the U. Joined by an RHM. They're going to be 3 times there, but there's only a bad shot spotter for LTP, who are even more passive than the side of Hit and Run was in the beginning. They're just playing the distance, but they will give up the mid-strike at the very least for this.
Yeah, Fronic is going to drive towards that one. Synops for the nth time now trying to take the information tower, but I think the Centurion AX of Hit and Run was able to reset with HE. He's going to charge his ability up a little bit with that as well. So, yeah, good stuff from Ketsai coming in, and Fronic here will take the southern strike. Or rather, the strike south of the cap, still in the middle of the map, as Zeton gets pulled from the south. Doesn't want to stick around there any longer. I think is a little bit afraid of getting overrun, and that might just happen. A Foch B is just so much firepower.
What is the next move here? Because Nepal and Sitten are very, very, very defensive.
That is a good question. The plane now coming out once again, or sorry, the information tower coming out once again by Ketsai. So this means that, well, Hit and Run once again have full info available. Fronic, after taking the strike, does drive away from it again, and now Zeton's position behind that house is obviously known towards Hit and Run, or they know that he was there some time ago. More damage dealt currently, I think, going over towards the Hit and Run side, as Joy in that E100 takes another shot of damage as well. So it is kind of up to LTP to make a move, but right now they seem to be making mistakes instead of moves, as they lose even more HP.
The gap is also wide open at this point. I mean, I'm not sure what this stance from LTP is really going to achieve. They're very respectful of Hit and Run, but when the gap is this open, Keyhand, and Hit and Run can park themselves in it whenever they want to, it leaves a lot to be desired. Good shot there from Fronic as well on towards Joy, who is not able to play really safe right now. There is a rotation from LTP across the 0 line, but that is already a bit late. They've already taken a decent amount of damage. Fronic now moving towards the strike as well. So that's going to be captured again before LTP even makes a move. And this is not looking that good, Kian.
Indeed, it's looking kind of grim for LTP already, having dropped below 20,000 HP. A strike does connect on towards Joy together with another shot, I believe, from the Fosh B or something that's now starting to clip out, or rather has gone onto the full reload again. But yeah, Franek takes another strike. Pretty uncontested, and now LTP will try to make something happen here in the south of the map. But to be honest, I'm not even sure if they have full information available as towards the tanks of Hit and Run. Because I don't think Synops so far was able to take the info tower that he now starts up once again. And this time around, it seems to be not going... it went through. Yeah, finally LTP sees everyone.
Nepal taking some damage as well. This is like, if this feels all a little bit late, Gihan. I mean, they're now pushing on towards Franek. So, but even this is late.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing on towards Franek, but he can obviously stay hold down in that 430U, and then it's kind of meh. Apparently, he does get caught out in the open here, but Zeton only 3 shells remaining, so he would have to invest quite a lot of HP into this if he wants to make something happen. T-Sec now trying to come close with that Fosh B as well, is going to clip out in towards the Batchat. That does go down immediately. T-Sec still shots remaining in the clip, is going to tag Noxious as well, that has to stay out in the open, and even Ketsai with the Centurion is here. LTP not finding any openings.
Yeah, this is just all a little bit lackluster, Kian, a little bit late to the party. Running behind the facts. I mean, Synops did take the strike in the north, but Hit and Run is up a tank, up 4,000 HP. They still have the cap if they want to. So, and now they will find Nepal as well in the south. Mentos will continue pushing. Yes, Ketsai right behind him, and Nepal surely cannot get out of there. Mentos doesn't have a plane though to keep him spotted, so Nepal is able to escape, and Franek will fall. So LTP bringing it just a touch closer. Tankistador is arriving in this position. He will miss the shot though, and Nepal now in trouble. T-Sec with the Fosh B and Ketsai with the X, the double team, the left and the right combining to take Nepal out. And now 5 tanks left standing, and surely LTP in round number 1. This was too, there was no passion, no desire, Kian.
No energy as well coming out from LTP in this round number 1. You said it, it felt very, very slow. Tankistador now even getting caught by the plane of Mentos. Will probably be able to turn around and give a shot of damage on towards Ketsai, but that's going to be all she wrote. Noxious also down and out. Monster is going to be able to take the strike. He's going to be hold down in that E3 as well. Aching, no chance to make anything happen in this battle for him. Same can be said for Joy, and Hit and Run pick up a slow, a controlled, a very, very nice round number 1.
I mean, a pretty easy game though, Kihan. If you think about it.
Yeah, I think LTP was not really making it too difficult for Hit and Run.
I mean, it just felt a little easy for Hit and Run, a little too easy. You know, they got the south for free, they got the mid strike for free, and then LTP tries some repush, but some late repush that doesn't really do much, and they immediately lose the game right after. So, yeah, this was not it for LTP. Maybe showing too much respect to Hit and Run.
Yeah, I also feel a bit weirded out by the way that LTP has been playing it, because so far in all the matches that LTP played, they had like a clear plan as to what to do, but here I think they were betting a lot on getting the info tower with Synops, but because he was getting continuously reset, they didn't have any information to play with. And when Synops was finally able to get it at some point in time, that was only because the Sente X of Ketsai had already moved away from the north, and they had enough assets, Hit and Run that is, they then had enough assets to stop the repush that LTP was doing. So I think a deserved round number 1 for the team of Hit and Run, and for LTP, it's kind of back to the drawing board, because also the Gorilla that they had, not really with the biggest of impacts. I mean, 3 shots of damage here. And when he was getting in towards the action, he was also spotted. So that means that, you know, his shots are not going to be damage boosted.
I mean, I still just... Too much respect, Kian. Too much respect is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want. I mean, maybe it's down to like the nerfs to the TDs, but you cannot give hit and run this much of the map and expect to be like, ah man, we're just gonna sit in dans la base and everything is gonna be okay. You know, like
Just fine.
juste fine. Oui, oui. D'accord. C'est tout bien.
Yeah.
Kihan, comment ça va? Ça va bien?
Ah, ça va bien, merci. Et toi?
Ça va, ça va.
Ah. Although, I think that is basically the extent of my French, since I had it over 10 years ago in school. Holy crap, time flies.
Yeah, when you're your age, it does. You know, you gotta.
Ah, of course he's gonna take that.
You gotta enjoy the good moments for as long as they last, Kian. You know.
That is indeed true.
You wake up recently, you know, with your back hurting. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that actually has started happening when I sleep in like the wrong position and then my back hurts. Screw that. All right, hit and run, looking for the second point on the board. W100, Singular Centurion together with a 430U, a Foshby, an E3, and an RHM. That pretty much looks like the same lineup as last round.
Yeah, it does. LTP though, however, switching it out a little bit. W100, a Bat, an EX, W4, and an RHM. So LTP, what did they change? They changed the Mivi 24 and I think the Gorilla 24?
Yeah, I think so. So a bit more in leaning into the direct brawl department are LTP now. As the plane is going to be better for hit and run. 6 tanks are going to be spotted by Mentos, who also manages to get away with the spotting tower immediately. No reset coming in towards Mentos from Tankistador, who obviously fired and tried to do something, but is not going to be successful. And now this respot for Mentos means another plane available for him as well, which is not going to be the case for Nepal.
I mean, Nepal is not that far away though from the takeover. He needs. I mean, right now it's like one shot for a plane on the RHM in general, which is still an interesting thing. Zidane will get the strike this time though, so LTP has taken a little bit of control, but not a lot though, Key, because it's just a bad shot.
Not a lot of control, and look what's happening there in the south of the map as well. Mentos, T-Second, Fronic, they are grouping up for a repush. They don't really want to let Zeton leave anymore, and I think they are going to be quite successful with this, as Zeton does exchange spots with one of the E100s, so hit and run know exactly who it was that was capturing this this strike. Now A-King taking some damage as well, without being able to retaliate on the cap, which has not been started by LTP. But A-King just keeps bleeding, and I think DJ now goes to the outside and is like, all right, is that Batchat still there? Well, let's play Hammer and Anvil with him, because from the other side, Fronic and T-Sec are coming as well to rain down hell on towards Zeton. That's gonna be caught in between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, that Batchat 25T just struggling. Zeton now even trying to pull out of the hole, trying to make that clip stick, but even there is he not safe altogether. There's an RHM shooting him from the south. Mentos will find the first kill, and now it looks like hit and run smell blood in the water. They know that these positions from LTP are able to be broken down with an anvil or a hammer, depending on what tool you would like to use. An anvil just a little bit stronger if you know how to throw it, of course. But as a result, I mean, sitting down, and the rest of LTP, Kihan, they seem coming into this match perplexed or petrified by fear even, because this is not what we've seen from them so far. In the Onslaught Legends Series, just so far 2 easy pickings for hit and run.
Yeah, indeed. LTP just very, very perplexed against hit and run that managed to make it look easy, and do take 2 rather quick rounds, I would say, on Studzianki, just outplaying LTP completely on a tactical level. Still 7 tanks left standing here for hit and run in this round. It is an absolute demonstration of power from the team from Poland.
Far too easy so far for hit and run. I mean, so far LTP has not thrown a single spanner in the works here for them to get anything rolling. Maybe it's the map, but like I said, there was no passion. There's no desire. You know, this club is absolutely going to hell.
Yeah. Or maybe it was just,
Fire the coach.
Fire the coach.
If the team doesn't work, you gotta fire the coach. That's how it works.
You've been watching football recently? Where does that idea come from?
It kind of goes everywhere, Kihan. When is the last time you see a player just get fired like mid-season, like a coach does, huh?
Yeah, true. I guess the coach is the easiest thing to fire. But yeah, hit and run. I mean, we were kind of doubting going into this one how exactly they were going to look. And turns out they're looking pretty stable, pretty good. I think throughout both of those rounds that we now saw, there wasn't really a point in time where LTP had the upper hand. It was just, hit and run from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, sending a bat shot into that hole, Kihan, it's not an ideal tank for it. Let's be realistic. That's why I like the 430U. That hit had some more lower profile, stronger turret by just a small bit, right? While the bat, he can't really face off against anything. And even then, LTP, they can't react to him getting pushed.
No. I think Hit and Run had the angles covered well. And they even found out that they could send like Forge B 430U through lower and come with an E100 from the top. So definitely some oversights in what LTP played here on Studzianki. And that even was their map pick. You would imagine them having a pretty good idea of how it was played. Albeit, that is not going to be the case. Now we are switching on towards Hit's map pick, which is Cliff. And Cliff is obviously a very fast map, although I'm quite interested to see how exactly the roll skill adjustments for the Batchat, namely, will affect what we see.
I mean, it depends on what strategy you're using, I guess, Kihan, but for 1-2, it should make a difference.
I mean, with the Batchat, for the 1-2, this means that you're not going to be reloaded when you arrive there. That is a pretty big difference, in my opinion. But outside of that, obviously, the changes are going to be minimal. Also, the fact that on Cliff there weren't a terrible amount of Juggernaut TDs being picked means that this essentially is the only change so far for Cliff. But let's see what we're gonna get, and it seems like both teams have been cooking a little bit, or a little big bit, as Hit and Run bring the double 60 TP, T57 double bat Grille, and T100.
LTP bringing their double Grille against one. The cooking is on. An IHM, 4 BZs.
I mean, double Grille, I think we saw it once in Season 1 by W, if memory serves correctly, and it did end up winning. So, yeah, taking 2,000 alpha damage can obviously be very good, as Tankistador and Noxious are not really going to move. They're just going to stay in base, and they're going to try and snipe up on towards the hill, where Mentos might be in for a rude awakening. That being said, perfect light tank to pick to possibly avoid the Gorillas, because they are gonna be so low.
Will they avoid each other? Well, Nepal and Mentos, I think, actually got to position at the same time, aka dodging each other. So the double Gorilla right now just in the base together with the double BZ aiming. Mentos gets spotted out, running away. He knew something was a foul, and as a result of that, decided not to commit. Good from Mentos.
Good for Mentos indeed, as Ketsai and Fronic are now going to set up shop against the BZ75 of Zeton. That better boost the hell out of there, as he does, to get behind a house. However, the double Batchat seemingly rotating around the hill as well, so no big play is going to be made there. Double BZ from LTP now driving in towards the 1-2 line. I don't think they got spotted there. So I guess the RD strike getting captured is going to be the first sign of something being there. The 60 TP did take one from the BZs as well, though. But realistically, how much is in the middle? to get caught by those bad shots. Not a lot by LTP. That means they're leaving the cap open, though.
What do you do now with the double? And Mentos gets the hill at the... You know, two Gorillas take it away, but at the end of the day, Mentos takes the hill anyway, right? And this is going to hurt Gihand. Giving up the info on two Gorillas?
And now, as well, with the information tower, this means that Hit and Run are going to be very aware as towards the threat that those two German tank destroyers are going to pose. Aking is now going to press the X button. He is going to drive towards the middle of the map because LTP realize that, hey, Hit and Run, they're double capping and we don't have anyone there at this point in time. Nepal also not the best trades in that RHM.
DJ and Panther Fury will get plain, but Stankistador gets spotted out. Minus 1.5 on that Gorilla. Yeah. If we look at the map control right now, it's not looking good.
I mean, what control if you're talking about LTP? There is none. Hit and Run, they basically have the cap. They have the Lighthouse Tower. That means they also control 2 points of interest with strike and spotting, and they can simply force more tanks of LTP to come close and lose HP because they have also gotten LTP on towards that timer that you see ticking at the tippity top of the screen. Franek now once again taking an artillery strike. That's going to be just another tool in the box of Hit and Run.
With 12 seconds left, Gihan, and Sinov's taking a strike in 10 seconds. The question is who's going to reset. The BZ is boosting. Will he make it? Zitten does hit the cap with 3 seconds left. And Aking missing on top of the hill. Not that good. Mentos is like, well, a BZ? I love playing against BZs. They don't have any DPM.
Yeah. Aking now is going to take the information tower. Never mind that, as the Gorilla that we've not been talking about a whole lot so far, Monster for Hit and Run, is going to put a big shot in towards Aking as well. Still no reset has come in, so Zitten is kind of, you know, forced and locked into this position here because base capture at 92 seconds, 2 people in the cap. Finally, the reset does come in, however. And this means a little bit of pressure is going to be off of LTB, but Hit and Run were able to convert that into a lot of HP advantage. 2,000 at this point in time. Mentos with another shot against Aking and is very careful, obviously, to not overexpose against the Gorillas. He doesn't know where they are.
They leave Katsai in position. This double Gorilla just has 0 game impact right now, Kiand.
Yeah. But with nimble tanks like this, I think it's problematic because you cannot simply force game impact. Because if you just drive in, you end up dying kind of immediately. I mean, Aking once again gets spotted on the hill here.
They're just going to strike Aking down. If that's what it takes, they're going to strike Aking. Yeah. He's a... Whoa, that hurts. And they're just going to let Mentos kill him. And now you're in trouble.
In big trouble, because that was an entire BZ-75 that essentially got deleted without really having any impact. I mean, yes, he did 1 shot of damage towards Mentos, but Mentos is not necessarily the most important tank to keep the HP on as long as he stays alive. LTP, I guess they only see the possibility of a repush outside on the 9 and 0 line here and now. And maybe they might catch Katsai, because realistically the firepower that Mentos can rain down from the hill is not that much. But yeah, DJ making it on towards the hill is not good either for LTP that now start aggressing on the outside here against Katsai, but support seems to be there with Franek as well. And now Katsai, I mean, he just tanks the damage, he just takes it, and now drives on towards Synops, who is down towards 1 shot because the T100 was able to give 1 for him. And this means that the quick double kill in the 9-0 line is probably a nail in the coffin for LTP.
Yeah, LTP never really got the ball rolling in this one. Never had an opportunity either. Hit and run just quite a tad better today. They never really gave them a challenge, to be honest. Key in this one, different kind of LTP. Tried to play more controlled, and it wasn't the way forward here against this hit and run team, who will say thank you for the points in a pretty quick fashion as well. I mean, I don't feel like they really got challenged, but...
Yeah, no. This was just hit and run being better at the game than LTP today. There was not a single point in time in either of those 3 rounds today that we saw where LTP was able to gain an advantage. Hit and run were always at least even or ahead. And this is going to conclude this match in the quickest possible fashion, 3-0. Those are also the points that the teams respectively are going to put on towards their own scoreboard. This might even mean that Hit and Run now overtakes LTP. Not entirely sure. I think we'll have the standings soon. First of all, let's take a look at the standings that we definitely have, which are the battle results for Cliff.
Yeah, the Krillesky hand.
Yeah, not that great.
Not that great at all.
Maybe they need to call Xank and ask him how to play Grilla on...
Oh, that's not very nice.
On Cliff.
That's not very nice.
I mean... Monster there with his Grilla, respectively, doing more than double the amount of damage than the 2 Grillas in the other team. But yeah, Panfury actually with 5.2k damage in that 60 TP. So not only tanking like a champ, but also shooting like one. Good result for him. But in the end, yeah, Hit and Run mentally ahead of LTP. The first round, you said it, they looked scared. The second round, they looked, well... even more scared, and the third one, the cooking that they tried to do completely didn't work out. And this means that here we have the standings after this playday. It's going to be Cashback on top, 5 matches, 5 wins. Then we actually do have Mafia in there, 4 wins, 1 loss. Then comes the team that we just saw win, 3 wins, 2 losses. They are going to be above Hit and Run, though, in the standings for now. And obviously below that is a W that had a pretty good showing today, but I think it is going to be overall, especially for Phase 2 as well, a pretty close thing as to what's going to happen. And below W, we have Darkside that need to take a look behind them, because Ping kind of breathing down Darkside's neck now. Has come in striking distance. And below them, well... the Bobbers are there as well.
Yeah, I don't know, 5 loss streak, not that great for them. But yeah, Cashback top on the charts, LTP dropping a bit down, which is expected, of course. But for them, hopefully on Sunday we'll see a different kind of LTP again, maybe a little bit more passion and desire.
Exactly. So Phase 1 is going to conclude on the Super Sunday, where it's essentially 2 whole play days. It's going to be 8 best of 5s being played. After that, we will know for sure which teams are going to get eliminated from OLS Season 2. That's obviously going to happen on Sunday at 3 p.m. UTC. That's 4 p.m. Central European Time. That all being said and done, thank you very much, Ducky, for casting with me today. We're obviously going to rate you so people can keep claiming Los Dropos. Last words go to you.
Not much to say. An interesting day. The standings are starting to form, and I can't wait to see who makes it to the second phase, the crucial second phase for all of these teams. We will see you guys back again on Super Sunday. Don't forget to tune in. We will start 2 hours earlier than today, just to make sure that you are there and ready to start claiming your drops as well. Have a wonderful evening if you decide to join in the raid. I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching. See you guys on Sunday.